Good Friday morning and happy football fiesta. Yes, it is a Friday football fiesta. I do not care if you say, hey, preseason football does not count. Yes, it does. Football will be on today. It will be on tomorrow. It will be on Sunday. And that will be our life for the foreseeable future, probably all the way up to February. I'm Matt McMaster. And if you're watching on the YouTube stream today, you're like, oh my God, did they switch spots? Yes, we did. I am
a fill-in for your usual co-host.
Gary, what are you? Gary Sharper? Gary Sharpest?
Just Gary from Omaha.
Gary from Omaha in seat number 2 today. You're listening to Gary and Matt here on 16.
So I'm spending my vacation. Glad to be here. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
But you buried the lead. So for people that have been watching on 1620 The Zone TV,
yes,
we have new cameras. So we've had a couple of cameras go in and out. 1620 The Zone TV go down last week, but we have new cameras, fancy cameras. They're not high def, so you cannot hide the blemishes. I don't have to wear my high def makeup. But they look great on Zone TV.
They look incredible.
Yeah, we look like a long way away, and I'm right here in the front of the camera.
They are very sharp, very, very sharp. They're very wide, too. It's a wide angle lens. For
See that, Peter, right? Remember the Madonna video?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Peter just went, oh, yeah. I don't want to go down that path anymore. I don't want to start talking about Madonna, but oh, yeah, I remember that video. It was great.
I have no idea what video you're talking about.
Madonna?
No. I know who Madonna is.
Right. Well, I have to check. I have to check the boxes before we take the next step.
Not anymore. You have to admit that I am much better now. Much better now than when I was when I got here in December. That my pop culture knowledge has taken heights that maybe we never thought it would take before.
Okay.
We haven't had a slip up in a while.
What's on the show? Cool in the game. What's on the show today?
We have a lot on the show today.
Let's go. It's Friday.
We have so much
preseason football it's not meaningless to the players. Come on. It's
I'm
football because it's on.
Listen, I was leading off with, don't tell me it's not a Friday football fiesta because it's preseason football. If there's football on, we should appreciate football. I love football.
Football is on in the background. We should appreciate Ty Robinson. We should appreciate that Zach Taylor realizes that his job is on the line and the Bengals get off to slow start, so he plays Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. We should also appreciate the fact that drafting a quarterback is sometimes a crapshoot, and sometimes you end up with Anthony Richardson.
I'm already disappointed after 1 week.
Also, I can't wait. Oh, that's right. You're a Colts fan. Daniel Jones will be a serviceable guy until you get the next Andrew Luck.
No, he won't. I don't know if you watched yesterday. He won't be a serviceable
It's a preseason game.
He was awful.
Guys can get better. Do you not subscribe to the notion that people can get better?
I think that
people can change.
I've never heard of a year 6 jump before in the NFL.
Yeah.
Unless you like fully get into
Geno Smith.
I know.
Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield.
There you go.
Okay, but those guys were all in very distinguished positions that Daniel Jones definitely is not in.
The distinguished position being the quarterback?
The distinguished position being they have incredible wide receivers around them and really, really good coordinators that are going to help them get.
I mean, you got Marvin Harrison,
Kevin O'Connell, help Justin Jefferson with Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson and Aaron Jones. That kind of helps Sam Darnold. Don't you think?
Peter, I don't even know who your wide receivers
are. Michael Pittman Jr.
Not a whole lot.
Alec Pierce. Is Alec Pierce still on that team?
Yeah, he's there.
Also, by the way, if the Colts fans have anything to be happy about, Tyler Warren looked really, really good yesterday.
That was a good pick.
I was happy about that.
Was not a good pick.
No.
I love
already injured himself.
I think my favorite part of the preseason yesterday.
New? He's always injured.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, he's going to find a way to get hurt in the first preseason game, and here we are.
Now the pinky finger, which he hurt last night.
It did look very.
He's just not a very smart quarterback.
No.
Him getting crushed like he did on a blitz, that's all on him. That's not on the offensive line. He had zero protection in the backfield, and he saw it was coming and did not get out of it. But his pinky, so you saw that it was like sideways. I always tell this, like every time I've shook hands with Johnny Rodgers, like Johnny's fingers are messed up. Like they're like, because you play football for a long time and his like a lot of like old time football guys, and I don't know how much if you spend time around old time football guys.
Not really.
First of all, they creak when they walk. I feel bad for them. I mean, that's a life playing in the NFL, and especially back in their day. And I'm talking guys that are like in their 60s and 70s. But if you shake hands with them, some will have these huge paws, like just gigantic hands that feel like the whole hand is a callus. Like it's a rough hand. It's not soft. They've not been using the lotion. But then there are some players that, because maybe the position that they play, their fingers go 40 different ways. And when I saw Anthony Richardson's pinky last night, I'm like, okay, that's some old school football guys. But yeah, Johnny's fingers, because of all the football he played, like go a bunch of different ways.
Who was the Jet Legacy Award winner?
Iowa?
No. From this year, he played at
Iowa. The Legacy.
The Legacy Award.
He played at Utah.
Yeah, Did
he have messed up fingers?
He had totally messed up fingers, like really bad messed up fingers.
That's why we've. I think people have messed up fingers. They embrace the high five or the fist pound.
I think the fist pound makes more sense than the high five, even if you have messed up fingers. Like I don't think Brian Baldinger can give you a high five. I think that's what Anthony Richardson's pinky looked like.
I got caught yesterday, so I went out to the Pinnacle Bank Golf Championship.
How was that?
It was great. It was hot out there, but it was great. I had a lot of fun. It's a great setup. Great to see Gary Java, the legend, who was the OG of sports talk in this town, has been with the Pinnacle Bank Golf Championship for 9 years. So got to see him, spend a little time with him. My friends from Hurrdat, spent time with them.
Yeah, I saw they all there.
Actually drank their food and
drank their food?
Drank and ate their food.
Was it good food? Were they nicely catered?
Oh yeah.
What do they have over there at the Hurrdat?
They had some good stuff. I'm not going to reveal it because,
fair enough.
But yes. So there's a lot of people out there that I saw. It was a great event. It was really, really warm yesterday. But somebody I saw of the opposite sex who I've not seen in a while. And I hope she's not listening.
Probably isn't.
She might be.
Okay.
Because she used to work at this radio station.
Okay.
I think she was coming in for the hug, and I went with the fist pound.
That's tough.
It was very awkward. And
That's
I've known
tough.
her for a long time. Like we worked together, but I think she was coming in for the hug, and I went the fist pound. And then after we exchanged some touching, I was like, I think I was wrong there, but that you can't go back on. You can't turn around and go,
no, God,
yeah,
no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I go back and get the hug that you were going to deliver? So instead I had the fist pound.
This is why.
But
Garrett,
she's a fist pounder.
Been there.
Like,
I don't know if you want to describe someone like that.
oh, not in that case. What, it was not even 6:30 yet.
It's not even 6:20.
So I apologize. But no, it's a great event. I had a lot of fun out there. I got to follow little Gooch and Rudy, who plays for the Nebraska golf team. Judd, who's the head coach of the Nebraska men's golf program, was there. His assistant, and I don't know his assistant, was wearing the Herbie golfing hat.
That is sick.
Yeah.
With him teeing off, right?
Yeah.
Oh, why aren't those? I feel like when they released those polos, I thought I would see those polos everywhere in Lincoln. Everyone and their mother and every pro shop would have had them and sold them.
Yeah, I almost said to him, if you had a trailer out here, you could sell that hat and you would make a lot of money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, so back to your whole fist
There are a lot of people hammered out there though yesterday.
Oh, sure.
Man, that alcohol was flowing freely. It was
a Pinnacle Bank Championship?
Yeah, it's a great party. It's great. It's a great setup. I love that course, even though I'm confused because the way they set up for the championship, some holes that used to be number 2, all of a sudden are 17 or 1.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this hole doesn't. Okay. But it's a beautiful course and it's great. It's a great event.
I'm surprised that people were drinking that much because it was hot yesterday because I went on a hot guy walk.
Who?
A hot you
said a Hawkeye guy walk?
Hot guy walk.
What?
You know, it's a hot girl walk, but you go on a hot guy walk.
I am not familiar at all with. Let's just first start with what is a hot girl walk.
Okay, so like everybody.
You know this, Peter?
Peter,
I feel like I heard.
Peter, I swear to you,
well,
yes, you have.
I thought this was
Why
a thing.
Are you hollering at
because Peter should know.
I thought this was a
age.
thing
Peter
a few years ago. Is it still a thing? I wasn't sure if it was still a thing.
So people in fitness have found out that walking in terms of burning fat and losing calories is incredibly effective, and you don't necessarily need to be a Josh Peterson and run like 8 miles a day, that you can get some really good cardio by going out in some hotter temperatures and walking. And so you call it a hot girl walk. You go on a hot girl walk. It's efficient. You just go on a walk. It's hot in the summer.
Why can't you just say you're going for a walk? I walk every day.
But I
don't say, hey, You know what? Hey, Fido, I'll be back. I'm going for a hot guy walk.
You look, I'm just telling you what the phrase is. This is a Gen Z TikTok, Instagram phrase. Hot girl walk.
Back in the
hot
day, we
guy
just
walk.
called it a walk.
Okay.
Now you guys
Today
call
will
it something
definitely
else.
Well,
today
this-
will definitely be a hot walk.
Man,
it's going to be
fat
100
man's weight loss
degrees out.
paradise. You're going to be sweating. Just you're going to get up and you're going to
Pass
stick to
that.
things. Okay.
Well, I was
So
on
you
my
went-
I was
yeah.
on my hot guy walk,
and
and it was hot. It was sticky. It was ridiculous. Well, I'm just surprised
that it was hot outside and you were walking.
that so many people were like, there comes a point where it's too hot to slam beers and to like get everybody like to get the liquor
Yeah, but
flowing.
I think the event kind of, there's a lot of hospitality areas.
Yes, good point. You just-
And let's be honest, when things are free, you don't think about your health.
things were
No.
free, or were they free for you or for not?
No,
For
if you're like in a hospitality tent, yeah.
I found it very difficult to
For
drink. at
all
the
of the
College World
bougie things that
Series.
you've done in your life, you've never been to an event where they have free alcohol.
Well, I've never been to no. I've been to plenty of events where they have free alcohol, but it's just one of those. I guess I didn't put two and two
Never
together.
been
that-
invited to a wedding?
No, I've only been to 3 weddings in my life. I'm going to my 4th the day after the Nebraska football game. But I guess what I'm saying is it really free? Because I'm sure you have to buy a ticket to the hospitality tent before.
Yeah, but it's, people are entertaining their clients.
Sure.
Big time clients.
Great
Kind of the end of summer big party out at Indian Creek.
I took a nice walk though over to Morrison Stadium.
Okay.
Through Creighton's campus.
Women's soccer was playing yesterday.
Yes, they did. I had no clue. They took on the Drake Bulldogs. I went on their website. They didn't say who won or who lost. So
I think Creighton won 3-1.
okay. So shout out to Creighton women's soccer. I was on my hot guy walk and I was like, oh, maybe I should buy a ticket and walk in and watch the beginning of the game. But unfortunately, they had like 35 minutes before first kick. What do they call that in soccer? Kickoff. Okay. So I did not do that. But I recognize that I live very close to that stadium. I had no clue. So I probably won a lot of great soccer games.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool where you live. If you just go across 75,
Yeah.
there's a large campus. It's called Creighton.
I'm aware.
They have.
I take the Sky Bridge.
They have a lot of people your age that go to school there.
Really? I
Yeah.
had no clue.
They have
It's
a lot of. They had a lot of tall buildings, a lot of cool looking buildings.
They-
St. Joseph's Church, beautiful. I was
It-
there
it
the
is
other day.
gorgeous.
They got a nice lot of athletic facilities. They got a brand new. It's actually right across the street from your house. Brand new dentist school of dentistry.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. You just
it's-
keep walking down Cumming. You're going to find the softball field, and then they're building the baseball field.
See,
And then you're going to see a church that's right there that would not sell, so it looks a little peculiar. Yeah, all of that stuff. It's pretty. And then if you go a little bit further from your place and you keep walking
Sure.
down Cumming, there's this place like at 13th and Mike Fahey, but that's on Cumming. Is you're going to walk up, you're going to see a statue, and then behind it there's going to be stairs that go up, but there's going to be locked gates. That's called Charles Schwab Field.
really
Yes.
had no clue.
So you live actually pretty close to a lot of cool things.
Does it surprise you that it took me 8 months to finally walk through Creighton's campus?
All right, who's coming up on the show today?
First off, before we get to the show, I want to throw this out there. If you're driving west on Dodge today, if you're getting on before 38th Street, good luck. 3 lanes turn into 1 lane from 38th all the way to 44th. When I was taking my morning drive at 5:45 this morning, even with 7 cars on the road, it got pretty backed up back there. So who's doing traffic today, Peter?
Mr. Joey.
Mr. Joey's doing traffic. So before Joey, who, by the way, had an incredible night at Australian Pink Floyd over at the Steel House. He had some awesome pictures. It looked like an incredible event.
It did look fun.
I'll probably just beat him to the punch. You're going to be really backed up, 38th to 44th, if you're going west on Dodge today. Got a really good show for you today. 9 o'clock, we got Mike Schaefer. 9:20, we got Matt Verszall coming up. Should be a great show. Driving in today, I passed a coffee shop that I used to frequent a lot, that I no longer frequent.
Right around the corner?
Yes.
Why didn't you frequent that place?
Because I've figured out that having one Monster Energy drink is really way more efficient than having 2 coffees. And
Do you think they're sad that you don't drive through every morning?
I
'Cause
kind
you
of
are a regular.
I feel bad. I really do. Like
I just walk down there during one of the breaks and just check in and walk up to the walk-up window, and why don't you get 3 coffees?
I mean, maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do that if you
Because they know their customers really well, and especially early in the morning when there's not as many, they put, faces and
They
didn't you get on a first name basis?
Nosy Rosie and I, and that's how she introduced herself to me. Okay. That was her
That's a
name.
great name.
That's her name. She goes, "I'm Nosy Rosie. Why do you have a fishing pole in your car?" And I'm like, "I like to fish." Her and I, not only on a first name basis, on a first order basis.
Okay.
Get up to the window.
They probably are now wondering, did they do something wrong?
Or
you moved.
And I feel bad because I wonder, do you get to the point where if you're a regular somewhere, if you kind of feel bad if you're no longer there because you're like, do they miss me? Even though that there might be a multitude of reasons as to why you don't go there anymore. But then you realize, and I'm sure I'll realize this today when I go and I get our 3 coffees, because I will try and do that it's always great to go to a place where everybody knows your name. And that's where Merritt Beeson is heading as the Omaha Supernovas. Come on, that was a good one.
Cheers.
Well, yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to Merritt Beeson.
Cheers the show.
Cheers to Omaha Supernovas.
No. Cheers the show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you with pop culture.
No, I know about Norm.
Oh, yes.
I'm aware.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I'm the Norm of Dundee Double Shot, though.
It'd be okay if you were.
I feel like Dundee Double Shot, an establishment like that, which, by the way, is celebrating their 10th anniversary.
Where would you rather be known? In a bar or a coffee shop?
Ooh, coffee shop. Probably a coffee shop. If I got well known at a bar, you definitely do wear out a welcome, I feel like, at a bar after a certain point. Where it's like,
there are advantages of being well known in a bar. Like during tourist season or College World Series season, where there's a lot of out-of-towners and they're taking up your spot.
Good point.
You go into your favorite watering hole and they recognize you. They take care of you like you're standing in line to get a drink. Usually you're like, where'd all these people come from? And they're like, the person's right in front of them that's wearing like an LSU hat. And they look behind and they go, "Gee, what do you need?" Same.
Good feeling.
Yeah. And then that person in front of you go, "Who is that guy?"
And you're like,
"Hey, I'm here before the CWS, during the CWS, and after the CWS."
I want to know that guy.
That happened to me, by the way, over at our favorite Jello shot establishment. So you're totally right. It does
You've
feel
been
good
back there since the College World Series?
No, I haven't. I only look during Creighton games, though, like for Creighton basketball and Creighton baseball. I'm sure that you'll find me stumbling my way into that establishment. Now, I do stumble my way into the establishment right next to it because that's actually a very nice bar that I enjoy frequenting every once in a while. But coffee shop, I don't think you probably don't get that. But at the same time, too, though, there definitely are people who aren't regulars at a bar who just pop up to the bar every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're always there, I feel like those people judge you. Like, oh, this guy's always here. This guy, he's always.
It doesn't mean you always, when you go into a bar, you're drinking. I mean, you maybe have just one, like on the way home or something, or you got the day off. Doesn't mean you're like, 6 deep. You might just go in there for some companionship.
I think I need to learn that lesson.
You learn a lot. I love to talk to people that are bartenders, male or female. They got stories to tell. I think I would make.
You would make a great bartender.
I tried one time. I just didn't like it because I loaded up some drinks. Like I did not know the, how much.
Sure.
Yeah. What,
the etiquette or how to be a good bartender.
Yeah. I would have been a good bar back, but then the bar back is not supposed to interact. They're supposed to just take care. But I wanted to talk to people.
Yeah, I would like talking to people. My drinks would be awful.
It lasted when I was in college. It lasted about a day and a half helping out a friend in an establishment on O Street, and he was like, "Nah,
this ain't for you."
And what a day and a half
he
it was.
He didn't say that. He was just like, we looked at each other, and he's like, he goes, "You're probably better on the other side of the bar." And I was like, you know what? That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I would probably get the same thing. I make good mixed drinks though. I'd be a pretty good talker. But the problem is that I would lose an establishment a lot of money because I definitely would be the guy that gives out way too many free drinks because I would be like, how would I want to be treated if I'm on the other side of the bar?
Oh, it's your birthday?
Oh, well,
it's your bachelorette party?
Hey, Pete, it wouldn't even have to be a birthday or a bachelorette party. It could be a Tuesday. Be like, hey, you had a rough one today?
They still do that for birthdays?
They do.
They
used to do that.
They used to do a thing in Lincoln. I turned 21 in Lincoln where you would start at one bar and they give you a piece of paper so you signed your name. And every bar you went to, because you got a free shot or a drink, then you would sign your name again. So as you made your way through about 15 bars, from the first signature at the first place you went to the last one could tell you what kind of a night you had.
Oh, that's
But I think I don't know if they. Well, I know they don't do
They do not do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't do the free birthday drinks
They
anymore.
they don't. So I got a
nice.
free birthday drink because I knew the people at the bar who were working there before I turned 21. And so they were like, "Hey, happy birthday. Here you go. Here's a free shot." Got no free shots. I'm like, I got a free shot from actually a former Nebraska baseball player who actually is working his way up through the Atlanta Braves system right now.
Shirley?
Nope.
Drew?
Nope.
Brett Sears?
Yes. Him and I, we were just sitting at a bar together, and he goes, "Oh, it's your birthday?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, okay, cool. You want a birthday shot?" I go, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool." And then
how many people you tell that story to immediately after?
Well,
was that like everybody in the text chain was like,
it gets better.
A Husker bought me something.
It gets better. So we were sitting there, and
he started showing you his pitch script.
No, this was before he became a starter.
He is moving up.
Yes,
yeah. He's had a good summer.
This is before he took off. This is like when he was a year before. He had a great year.
So he liked before Rob Childers sprinkled some dust on him. He liked that you recognized him.
I didn't recognize him. I had no idea who he was.
Big dude.
He's actually, I mean, he's a wider guy, but he's not like super tall. Like Emmett Olsen was a big guy. Like Emmett Olsen was a really
he's a wider guy.
Like his shoulders are big. He's got big shoulders, which is like, it makes sense when you're like a pitcher at that level.
Didn't recognize Barney, but I recognize Lutovsky because he is a wider fella.
Yes, of course you do. You recognize the entire offensive line because it's hard to miss them. Teddy Prohaska is probably one of the most recognizable humans on that football team. So anyway, we're sitting. This is actually a good story. Play ball with me here. So we're sitting there. He goes, "Hey, do you want a shot?" Gets me a shot. Okay, cool. We start talking. Where you from? Blah blah blah. This and that. He goes, "Yeah, I'm on the baseball team." I go, "Okay, cool. That's great. I report on the team. Like I watch some of the games." I start talking to him, and I go, a couple days ago, man, I really like Will Bold. I think they're doing a good job over there, and Rob Childress is a good coach. But man, they left that one guy out there against Creighton, for way too long heading into the ninth inning. And and then all of a sudden they bring in this poor Jamoke off of the pen. And I think he had like 4 warm-up pitches, and then he come in, he gets blown. I mean, it's just, I don't know. That was not a good moment. And he looks at me, he goes, "Matt, that was me. I was the Jamoke." Wow. Because I was the guy who came in. I go, how many warm-up pitches did he have? Did he have? He goes, "Less than that." It was a funny story. And then he ended up becoming Brett Sears, one of the best. And then I actually saw him later down the line at another establishment like that after he, pitched a complete game. So really great guy, stand-up dude. That whole baseball team was awesome. That whole conglomerate of guys were great to be around. But anyway, back to where everybody knows your name lead-in was supposed to go. The Omaha Supernovas. Let's give a round of applause. Hell of a week. Hell of a week for the Novas. Thank you, Peter. Hell of a week for the people who play at the Chi Health Center. Signing Merritt Beeson yesterday from Atlanta, who I believe she was picked number 1 overall last year.
Yep.
By Atlanta, ends up signing with the Supernovas. And in a week where it seemed like at first Love B was going to make a lot of headlines in terms of officially announcing Kirsten Bernthal Booth as their president of business operations and Jordan Larson as a part owner. Supernovas, massive splash. Get John Cook.
Oh, so you're turning this into a competition?
I'm not turning it into a competition.
They both had a good week.
They both had a great week.
Yeah.
But it's just, they go ahead and...
That supernova influence of your friends is getting
to you. I'm not saying there's a competition.
Is a planted thing?
No, there's no plant. I'm just saying.
It was a good week for both programs.
That is
a good week for volleyball in the state of Nebraska. It does appear that Supernovas are all in on winning the championship again, because they not only added Merritt Beeson, they added, and her name escapes me, but I believe she was a setter for the U.S. program for the last couple of years. The setter of the year. So it's kind of cool because I think both leagues can reset their rosters, like especially the Supernovas. So that helps with John Cook starting as a general manager, because it's a whole new roster in that league. So they can build like a super team again.
So I was gonna ask if you knew, because I don't know. do you not sign like multiple year contracts?
No, because I think when the league merged, everybody became a free agent. I think that's the case. So they're able to redo their roster.
I wasn't sure how
So
that worked.
so the Supernovas will build a super team.
Yeah, they will. And it's going to be really, really cool, especially for the people who have been consistently going to games for the last few seasons. And I do think that the Omaha Supernovas, I mean, they had done a really good job, not only first off just winning the championship in their first year, but establishing and really like taking the momentum from how popular Nebraska volleyball is in the state and parlaying it into pro volleyball. But I think what they were missing that, outside of having a really good organization and having a really great location and playing in a very good arena and building a fan base, they were missing that true like superstar Nebraska volleyball connection. They had Allie Badenhorst, right?
Lindsey Krause.
They had Lindsey Krause, but and let me tell you this right now too. Like the one game that I went to last season when those two got introduced, even though that they weren't playing, they got the loudest cheers. And Allie Badenhorst didn't end up playing at the end of the match because they were killing the team they were playing against. And every time that she got an opportunity to hit a ball, and kill a ball, there was like I don't want to call it a moment, but there was like this feeling in the air of people like cheering, people wanting her to be successful, people wanting her to play. And I think like in that moment, you're thinking to yourself like, man, if the Supernovas can get a player from Nebraska volleyball that can come in right away and be a starter and be an impact player, and they can put them on billboards and they can market them and they can bring in that true volley, like, oh my God, Mayor Beeson, like that's a Nebraska.
Well, that's
legend,
where Love B Nebraska misses out. They have two of the top 5 greatest Nebraska volleyball players on their roster.
And that's the one thing too that we've talked about with Love B in terms of, I don't want to call it like
they're not as organized as the Supernovas in terms of media and promotion. But again, they had Lexi Rodriguez, who is one of the more popular players and one of the best players of all time in Nebraska volleyball, on the roster last year, and you would have never really known it unless you regularly went to a game because they did not promote her really that much in this town.
And I think you and I
let's just combine. Let's just make a super team and just dominate professional volleyball with Creighton and Nebraska players.
I think it would be incredible
because they have Nora Sis as well. You would not know that Nora was playing for Love B, and she's one of the best and one of the most popular Creighton players of all time.
You are totally right on the spot on in terms of the Supernovas are incredibly organized, and it seems like they have an actual machine behind the product that is really pushing the product, that is trying to grow their product as best as they can. And I think that they were lacking that true like local superstar, that true connection that can bring more and more people and have pride.
Well, didn't they do that the other day?
What, with John Cook?
There's nothing bigger than John Cook being involved.
But then they did that, and then they hammered it home even harder than we even thought that they could. And when we got the text that it was going to happen, I think a lot like you and I both were like, holy crap, like this is absolutely insane. So
buying season tickets. Are your buddies going to force you into buying season tickets?
No, I don't need to buy season tickets. I can just make a text. I can just be like, hey, I want to go to the game today. Hey, we got a great show for you for the rest of the day. Matt Rhule did it again. We'll talk about what that was. Texas Tech also did it again. We'll talk a little bit ACC football too, as we are inching closer and closer to the beginning of college football, to the start of Farmageddon. Gary, we are how many days away?
20 days away.
We are 10 plus 10 days away. Don't go anywhere. We got Mike Schaefer and Matt Verszall coming up next here on Gary and Matt.
me see what this looks like on the stream. Oh, that actually looks really good without the lights on in the studio.
Doesn't look bad.
Can I tell you that it looks probably 100% better than what we were using before?
Okay, Peter. Now you can turn the lights on for just a moment.
All right.
Okay, we're going to do something here. Ready? It's a huge moment. Huge moment. Okay. So just like on this date back in 1988 when they turned on the lights at Wrigley Field, we just turned on the lights in the 1620 The Zone studio, which just reiterates that this is a Cub studio. Thank you. Thank you very much. You like that? That was good.
Didn't it rain out that game?
Yeah. I was in a hotel room in Joliet, Illinois, watching it on TV.
Why were you in Joliet?
Because I wanted to go to the first night game, and my dad couldn't get his tickets, but he could get his tickets for the following day. And so we were staying in Joliet.
Okay.
And for no particular reason.
Yeah, not bad. Well, maybe back in 88, Joliet wasn't the best.
So, yeah, we watched it on WGN, the first night game.
That is actually a great little tidbit. Joliet now, so nice. Like very, very much enjoyable. I think Joliet back in 88, well, I mean, you probably were in
I don't remember much of the hotel.
In a couple stoplight town in a Motel 6. But a lot of those areas have gotten a lot better in the last 37 years.
But Joey, if you want to turn the lights back off, not Joey, Peter, because it looks actually like the lights off in the studio.
Looks better.
Looks really, really good. These new cameras are awesome.
Have you? They
should have strobe lights.
Anytime. Wait,
hey, a good take, and just like when you score a touchdown.
Yeah. You like hit a home run. It's like doom, doom, doom. Like you're Duran when you're walking out for the Philadelphia Phillies. We should do that. We should try and make an intro for you. We put the fire, the fire video board. Gary Sharp,
I think any good take on the show, there should be strobe lights.
All right,
you
Peter,
should have control. You should have control of hitting the button.
Nothing's gonna happen if we flicker the lights, right? You don't have because I know that could cause seizure potentially to people when you flicker the lights.
Don't think I do.
Okay. Peter, you have the task now that if you think that either of us have a good take at any point today, you can get up from your seat and you can flicker the lights.
Do a strobe light?
Yeah, just do a quick little strobe light.
All right.
Real quick, have you listened to the 30 for 30 podcast about when the lights turned on for Wrigley Field?
I have not.
It is one of the best 30 for 30 podcasts, or one of just podcasts that I've listened to. And it just details the whole, all the way from 84 up till 88. Why people didn't want the lights on at Wrigley Field, and what was really the turning point, which was, I think the Cubs were grading 87, and if they were going to make the World Series, they weren't going to be able to broadcast it because they didn't have lights, and so they were going to have to play the World Series in St. Louis, which made everybody.
Ryan Sandberg was a big reason why they also got lights, because of his popularity, and they thought they were going to be good. So, they wanted to play more night games, and they fought with the neighborhood for the longest time. And also, guys were getting worn out. I mean, they're playing every home game during the day. Now there are times, and 37 years later, that I wish the Cubs would play more day games.
No, I don't. I've never had that. I grew up in a different era. Because for me,
it's weird for me to look at a 3-game series and every game is at 7:05.
I love sitting.
Just mix in a day game.
I'm a bleacher bum. I love sitting. If I'm going to a game on my own, I prefer to go to the bleachers. I like watching the bleachers. I'm one of those people where I get to the game early, so I always get good seats. I can't do a 1:00 bleacher game. It is too hot. I can't have beverages. Sometimes I forget my sunscreen. I burn up. Call me weak.
Weak.
Okay, it's fine. It's my generation. We all feel the same.
Oh, I see plenty of people in the bleachers that are your age that they're shirtless. They got a beer snake going.
I'm not.
They have no cares in the world. They might not even have a job. But you know what? They're supporting the Cubs. They may not know that they're at a Cubs game. They just know that they're at a big party in the outfield, and there could be objects that would be flying towards them.
See, my thing, though, is that it's not a big party in the outfield for me. I am watching the game. I would like the Cubs to win.
But there's nobody that buys tickets in the bleachers unless you're forced to. They go, you know what? I got to be focused on the game. I cannot have people talking around me. I cannot have people drinking around me. I cannot have people partying around me. I cannot have people trying to hook up around me. I just need to focus on the game. All right. I need to be able to see the exit velocity. I need to be able to see the spin rate. I need to be able to see all the batting averages. I don't need to be looking over my left shoulder to see the video board, to see all the stats on Chris Bryant coming to the plate. If you want that, go sit somewhere else.
That's what I'm looking for. And I like that I'm in left field and I'm pretty close and I'm on a nice little porch and I'm like out looking toward Waveland and I got the little rooftop looking over me and I can look at the left. I can look at the right field video
game
board.
in April when there's very few people around you in the bleachers.
You know,
this is great. I got a whole row to myself. This is blissful.
You know, people like always talk about how the bleachers were like the craziest place to be and like all of the things that you just described. We are back into the conversation of everything was way better back when, because it is nothing like that anymore. Like, it's still crazy. Don't get me wrong. It's still crazy. There's still people who love to drink beers and who are there for a party and they're taking off their shirts, but the whole like making out and it being wild and nobody's watching the game and nobody's sitting down, like that's not the case anymore. Like, people bring their kids to the bleachers. Like, there are a lot of like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, at least when I was going there, that were there, that had their gloves. I'm not saying that the bleachers are like family friendly now. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. I'm not saying that it's not close to what you describe it, but the party and everything that was incredible, that sounds incredible, at least that people described of what it used to be, is not what it is now.
Really?
It really is.
I think, and just recently sitting in the bleachers, I think the party in the bleachers has never been as good as it is now.
Really?
Yes.
When I went back in now, the last time I was in the bleachers, it was 2022.
Okay.
And they weren't very good. And so maybe
that may have had something to do with it.
Maybe that had something to do with it. And there weren't people who weren't as like having a big of a party because they weren't winning as much. But when I was out there, I was like, for what everybody described to me, I feel like it wasn't as what it used to be. It's still great. I'm not saying that the bleachers are a calm little place to like watch the games, but I'm just saying I don't think it's as rowdy.
It is not.
It's not as rowdy and it's not as incredible as it used to be.
We just have had different experiences because I think it's rowdier now.
I haven't been. Maybe I have to go this year.
So the people that don't want to be rowdy are not sitting in the bleachers. They're sitting in obstructed view seating. Or they're sitting elsewhere,
which is like 30%.
Now, I think they probably crack down on stuff that goes on in the bleachers a little bit more nowadays. But the one thing I've always had with Wrigley Field is Wrigley Field has become a destination. So people will go there just because of Wrigley Field, and you don't have to be a Cub fan. And there is the butting of heads of the diehard Cub fans that are there, that every pitch matters, to the people that are like, yeah, you know what? I'm on summer vacation. I want to go to Wrigley, check it out one time, or I'm going there for the party. Now, if you're going there for the party, go to the bleachers.
Yes.
But there are plenty of diehards that sit in the bleachers, and that's where they want to sit every game. I couldn't do 81 games in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. I just couldn't. And it has nothing to do with my liver. It's like there's just this constant. It's nonstop. Like stuff going on, people talking around you. I mean, it's just. But I have actually made a few, like, I would consider them good friends through my time of sitting in the bleachers compared to any place else at Wrigley Field. Because it seems like once any place you sit that has bleacher seating, and you already know that you're going to be a little uncomfortable, you like become maybe friendlier to people around you, or you become rowdier. And you have to pick a path.
I think this is just our different personalities, because I think what we're finding out here is
this should be absolutely the opposite.
No. Oh, it should be.
Yeah,
it should be.
I should be the one that's like, I don't like, hey, no beer snake over my head.
No,
I'm not participating.
Not like that. I'm not like that at all.
I'm like the one that's like, this is great. I hope that the ushers don't come down and tear this down. You're like, you guys are disrupting. The batter might see that in the corner of his eye, and what happens if there's a curveball? He's not going to be able to see it because he's focused on the beer snake. Please take the beer snake down.
Guys, Albert Almora has got 2 strikes here, and he's got to move the runner over from second to third.
Quit trying to get the attention of Pete Crow Armstrong. He's not going to acknowledge you. He needs to focus.
I think there are
and I'm like, PCA!
I think there are probably, this is the best way of putting it, because I stand by this, where I don't, like, but here's the thing. I hear the stories, and I think I've propped it up in my mind to it being something that it never was. And so even though the bleachers are rowdy, I think that it should be rowdier. But I also do think, too, you probably could find pockets in the bleachers. You probably find maybe a calm pocket, or you can find a hot pocket, right? And I think that you are somebody, you probably find more hot pockets than I do. I find some colder pockets. I like Uncrustables. You like Hot Pockets. That's just the difference between us.
Okay. All right. Just processing that in my head. Okay. I kind of see where you're going.
I know. I think it was a pretty good analogy.
College football is so back. College football home.
Yes.
Because
great,
I just saw
great Twitter account.
I just saw somewhere where I think it's James Brown fan on Twitter has I think been the first person that said they will eat you know what if Texas does not beat Ohio State.
Why would you say
we
that?
are so back now? College football home. How many followers? They got 119,000 followers. Just tweeted this out. If Nebraska goes undefeated in the regular season, I will do a shot 5K, a shot of vodka every 0.6 of a mile and finish under 25 minutes. Okay. Well, you know what? Yeah, Nebraska's not going undefeated in the regular season, so you don't have to worry about that.
That is impossible. Of doing that. Someone who's ran plenty of 5Ks in his life, that can't happen. Also, I'm doing something very similar to that today. We'll talk about it as the show goes on. As we didn't get to what we were going to talk about because we made the discovery that I guess we're doing our show in the dark now.
It's great. We look fantastic.
We look incredible
on TV.
These cameras, I mean, they shelled out the big bucks, man, for this. I mean, this is like high definition stuff. These are the type of cameras that Christopher Nolan probably shoots his movies on. Odyssey coming out in a year. Can't wait for it. Apparently there's going to be a Zeus scene in the Odyssey, or apparently they're shooting the Zeus scene in the Odyssey movie right now. It's going to be absolutely incredible and comparable to when they did the atomic bomb scene in Oppenheimer. So incredibly excited for that. If you're a Christopher Nolan head, if you're a Michael Bay head, you're probably pretty pissed off that they're making another Transformers movie, which can we please stop? Can we just please stop remaking things?
At least Michael Bay's doing it.
Now, somebody who keeps making some certain films that I don't want them to stop doing is Matt Rhule, and they keep posting them on Twitter. We'll talk about it. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Matt McMaster with my fill-in co-host for the day, Gary Sharp.
Yes.
To the left of me.
Hey, do you think so the Iowa State Fair kicked off yesterday? They're going to have 1 million people over in Des Moines. It's a great state fair. It's the best state fair.
We did
I don't think I've been to that one.
How have you not been to the Iowa State Fair, Peter? You go everywhere.
Minnesota State Fair is awesome.
Yeah.
That one's awesome.
And the Iowa State Fair ends, and then the Minnesota State Fair begins. So they're like 1 and 2. But
so now I'll have to make my way over.
I hold dear to the Iowa State Fair, where when you were a kid, you as an Iowan were required to go. You would get your ruler, you would get your bag, you would go see the butter cow, you would go see all the livestock, you might go to a show, you would go see the WHO people in the Crystal Palace, you would go to the Bill O'Reilly talent show. You would do all of these things. We do them every single year. Mom and Dad would take me. Okay,
that's awesome.
To what do we have? The south side of the east side, the east side of Des Moines, where the State Fair is located. Because you'd get off the freeway. Yes, in Iowa we call them freeways, or as Des Moinesians. And then you would drive by the dairy that had the cow in front, and then boom, you'd go into the State Fair. Yeah, you'd ride the glider, so you go over everybody walking. Whoa. It was great.
That does.
You would eat yourself into oblivion. It was fantastic.
As you should.
But I have not been to the Iowa State Fair in a while. But it started yesterday. There's going to be 1 million people over there. Iowa State. I have a boots on the ground journalism.
Oh,
he said he sent me a picture yesterday. He said Iowa State has a huge display. They have the Pop-Tarts Bowl trophy on display.
Do they have the Pop-Tart mascot there?
No, that they do not own that. They just own the trophy. And I guess they have a couple other trophies, but I'm sure it's like Iowa State has a booth or a display or whatever.
Sure.
So the Nebraska State Fair, I think, begins next week out in Grand Island. I have not been since it's relocated from Lincoln, because the radio station that I used to work at, the Froggy 98, had like a house out there.
They did.
And so we'd go to the Nebraska State Fair, and the Nebraska State Fair always to me was, it's almost football season. Or you would go to Nebraska would play on that Saturday, and then Sunday you'd always go to the State Fair that was at State Fair Park in Lincoln. But then they moved to Grand Island. Haven't been out there. I wonder, because the University of Nebraska, Lincoln will have like a booth.
Sure.
Will they have the crown trophy on display at the Nebraska State Fair? And if they don't, I think this is a huge missed opportunity.
They should have the volleyball Final Four trophy out there, not the crown trophy.
I don't know if you want to display that.
They should have the baseball Big Ten championship trophy.
They should display, that and wrestling.
Yes.
I don't know that volleyball you would show. I don't.
Final Four.
Do you get a trophy for losing in the semifinal?
Don't you get a trophy for making it to the Final Four? Don't you won the regional, right? So you get the regional championship trophy.
I don't remember like a trophy celebration after winning a regional.
Really? I thought there are trophies up at the Devaney Center of like Final Four appearances or winning.
Maybe
maybe you do get a Final Four.
Maybe they don't
trophy?
lift them because they make it every year, and so it's not really that big of an accomplishment for them to hoist it up. I have a replica of the Iowa State Fair somewhere in my home.
Okay.
My where I went to public school for a little bit, we did this. I went to public school for 5 years.
Well, would you get in trouble? Yeah. So you got kicked out of your boys' school and got sent to a public school?
No, I got kicked out of the public school and got sent to the boys' school.
Oh, so you were a problem child, and you got sent to basically a bougie version of Boys Town in Chicago.
No, I got. Yes, I did.
What did you do to get kicked out of public school?
I didn't do.
Did you light a fire? Did you smoke in the bathroom?
I didn't. There was a social.
Did you swear? Did you attack a teacher? Did you have a relationship with a teacher?
No. Okay. First off, let's just clear this up. I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And I was in 4th grade.
See, people can change.
And then
you guys tell me that people can't change. Matt changed.
I moved from a co-ed public school to a co-ed Catholic school. Okay. Social media wasn't really a thing yet back in when I was 10 years old. And the first iteration was like a book, like a virtual bookworm. You could recommend books to people.
Were you running a scam?
I logged into another student's account.
Did you have a Ponzi scheme going while you were a 10-year-old?
We all had the same password, and our usernames were all our first letter of our first name and our last name.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you had a maniacal mind like I did, you recognized that you could log into anybody's account whenever you wanted to, because we all had the same password and we all knew each other's first and last names. And so I logged into somebody's account and I recommended a book and I sent it to a lot of people in the school. And I wrote some very mean words in the book recommendation. And I sent it out to, I think it was 40 people. And
Was
this a scandal?
oh yeah. It was bad. It was not good.
Scandalous.
It's probably the worst, like the most trouble I've ever been in my entire life by far. Like I got, how parents nowadays be like, oh, you're grounded for like 6 months or you're grounded for 2 months. And it's kind of like an idle threat and they don't live up to it. I was legitimately grounded for 6 months. I could not go out to I couldn't go sledding. I couldn't play hockey. I couldn't do like fun events. Like I basically was like schoolroom for a very, very long time. So anyway,
I think you're good. I just tried to Google it to find out more about the story, and it said it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search.
there wasn't. Did you actually were looking
Matt
something
McMaster
up?
kicked out of public school in Illinois.
No,
Nothing
it didn't
came up.
get published by the Skokie Times or anything.
But
like
Mike
that.
Cernovich is a right-wing social media personality that also comes up in the search. But continue.
You want to click on his profile? What does Mike Cernovich have to offer us?
He's a political commentator and he's a conspiracy theorist. So I think it's Friday, so I'll pass on those.
Okay, fair enough. But anyway, before I got kicked out of that school, we did a fun little 50 state thing where everybody picks a state and you have to report on that state. And the project of that state was like you build something very famous for that state is known for. And so I got Nevada.
Okay.
And I built the Hoover Dam. Okay. My brother, who went to the same school 4 years before me, got Iowa. And his replica, the thing that he built for his final project, was the Iowa State Fair. And so he built like all the stands and, all the little different areas. And he had to look up the pictures and had to do look up on YouTube, what the Iowa State Fair was about and everything like that. So somewhere deep in the basement, deep in the archives of the Masker family household.
And you've never been there.
And I've never been to a state fair. I haven't been. I've been to
Illinois State Fair is in Springfield.
I think I have no clue. I have no idea. I'm assuming it's in Springfield. It probably is in Springfield. Haven't been to the Nebraska State Fair, the Iowa State Fair, the Minnesota State Fair. I went to the Lincoln Lancaster County Fair. That was fun. That was enjoyable. But I was there for work, not necessarily for play. But yeah, there you go. I just revealed to you a deep, dark secret that I really haven't told a whole lot of people of me getting kicked out of school.
Wow.
There you go.
And we all thought that you were just a silver spoon kid.
No, I wasn't born this way. I definitely was. I definitely was molded into being polite. I honestly think about sometimes.
That seems like a very soft way to get kicked out of a school.
I mean,
if I'm being honest,
it wasn't.
But then, unless you're not sharing enough of this story.
I'll be honest.
I'll
be honest with you. It wasn't necessarily that I got kicked out of the school. It was more so I was going to be that kid that did that thing.
So you're used as an example.
No, I wasn't. It was just more so hey, probably be tough next, because people were going to find out and everything like that. And it was going to be a bad reflection on me. And my parents were like, it's probably best to just go move them and put them in a different.
Did your parents have to move from their home?
No, God, the schools were 4 minutes away from each other.
There was sadness.
Are you now judging me because you think
you sullied the last name of your mom and dad?
Did this go from you gained a little bit more of respect for me because I got kicked out of school to now you're judging me because you don't think I got the thing I did was good enough to get kicked out of school?
You were a silver spoon kid. Okay. If you're going to have an edge, to get kicked out of a public school is oh, but I thought might have been starting a fire or smoking or something like that. Not logging into somebody else's account. I didn't know if you were running a booking service on the side in a public school.
I sent, as a 10-year-old, I sent F you all to 40 other 10-year-olds. And they all got that message. And a lot of parents were upset about it.
Oh, maybe now I see you're adding more to the story here.
A lot of parents were like, hey, what the hell? Why the hell did this? And then but then when it happened, it wasn't me who got in trouble. It was the girl who got in trouble, and they brought that girl to the principal's office and
did she give you up?
interrogate. She had no clue it was me.
Oh.
She had no idea. I would have gotten away with it if I didn't feel bad and I eventually admitted that I did it. Because they like interrogated all of us and I like broke down. And it was like I've never been in an interrogation since, but it was like imagine like any sort of like 60s. Imagine every like 60s trope, it's like, the teacher was smoking a cigarette.
Well,
it was a dark room, there was a light, shining down. Talk about things that we've done before that we haven't done again. This is actually a bad lead-in because Matt Rhule keeps doing it. Did you see the video that he posted yesterday of him doing one of his walkabouts with Dr. Suzanne Elza yesterday? I think I love these things. Okay, I think I'm fully in love.
Why wouldn't you? What
videos.
would be the reason you wouldn't enjoy them?
So
because if you don't like Rhule, then you don't enjoy them. But I don't know, like how could anybody get like triggered by what he's doing?
I think some people might think it's like a little corny. I do think that some people might look at it as like, oh, it's a little corny, and that he's like maybe trying to be cool and trying to like act cool at times and trying to like relate to the younger folk, like. And there are moments too where you can't like his voice does slightly change sometimes, like throughout the videos of where he goes from being like where it's just like he's just kind of acting normally to where it's like he's presenting, like, hey, this is the facility, this is what we got here. Like, look it up. Like it's a series of MTV. What was it? The Crib Show? What was the
MTV Cribs?
Yeah. Where it's basically he's doing a bunch of MTV Cribs over and over and over again. And I could see how people just don't like that type of format. I think it's hysterical. I laugh at them. I think
they're doing something nobody else is doing with their head coach. Again, he's got the charisma to do it. Yes, the one that got released most recently. I think there were the one before. So let me go back. The one before where he just happened to walk into the weight room. It's almost like it's a mailbag segment. Like people like, hey, how's what's up with Parker? What's up with Bell? And Rhule reads the mailbag, and he's like, let's show them, because they can control their content. So they can give you stuff that any website or paper or radio show cannot give you, because, again, they have access to their content, okay? They can break their own stories. They can do all of that stuff. So it's almost, that's when I say it's a mailbag, is like fans are like, I wonder what's up with Bell. And Rhule, who very much listens to stuff that is said about his program, he's like, you know what? Let's show him. Oh, walk into the weight room off the practice field. There's Demetrius Bell. You can see that he's rehabbing. Oh, there's Parker. Hey, let's look at him. Oh, he looks like he's lifting weights. Tyson Terry. How's that rehab coming from the knee surgery? Hey, look there's Tyson Terry.
Yeah.
Juju. So that's almost like the mailbag stuff. And he's also, you can tell he's got like a connectivity with the players. Then yesterday, the thing that stood out to me is this does not happen in major corporations very often, that the CFO knows a lot of people's names. And that came out very clearly yesterday. It's not just a student athlete. It's not just somebody with a football program. Matt Rhule actually knows people's names around the facility. And I think that's important to the people that are around him, whether it be you work with him every day or you see him every day, or you work with his players, like maybe in the academic side, that the guy that is the head football coach doesn't have his head in the sand and knows your name and probably knows what you do as part of the athletic department. So I think these are fantastic because nobody else is doing it. I don't know that it'll continue once they get to the season because he's got a little bit more downtime. I think it's great, and a fan base that loves content and they love new, fresh content. And they got a coach that is comfortable doing it. Now, I hope the next time, as these are starting to pile up, the next time he talks to the media, someone asks him about how many takes.
Yeah.
Like, is it all a one take? Where'd this idea come from? Are you enjoying doing it? Like, what do you want to do next? And then I would follow up and say, I know there's no chasing 3, and you're not going to invite us over to your house to get in the theater and watch the home video.
Yeah.
If they do something like that this upcoming season, I know they like to
Oh.
keep that stuff under wraps. Like they
Yeah.
like to surprise you. Like all of a sudden, Nebraska beats Cincinnati in 20 days, and we wake up Friday morning, and they've got, they got the cinematic recap, which has become
Sure.
very, very popular. Do they take that to the next level?
Well, first off, to your first point, you could tell that those people, especially in the cafeteria, were happy to see him. Like they were smiling. They're like, Coach Rhule, like, whatever. Like,
How far are we away from the cafeteria controversy of 2 years ago?
the cafeteria? What was the cafeteria?
Volleyball team.
Oh yes, where
Yes,
they
before
didn't get,
Rhule
they
even
didn't have
coached a game.
breakfast. Yes,
Yes.
and then he had to buy them breakfast, and they take a picture with.
God,
him.
that seems like ages ago.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that nonsense. That was crazy. Yeah, we are far away from that. Well, it seems like they built a whole, like, different kitchen.
Well, they
too,
were
and everything.
the thing was they shut down the cafeteria services or the training table because they were redoing it to get ready for the upcoming school year, and it was not communicated very well. And then it went like fire on social media. And the head football coach had to step in, and then the next day he shows up at Big Ten Media Days for the first time.
Well, nobody ever asked a question if other athletes can use it because Rink Mask was there.
Anybody can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go and eat at the training table as an average Joe or Jane.
I ate there once. It was very, very
I
good.
think that's still the case this year.
Okay. I did know people who weren't athletes who worked in the operations department who would come home and they would feed me because they would be like, hey, yeah, they fed us this other thing, but I went to the training table. Like, here's a bunch of wings. By the way, great food. Great.
Yeah.
Like, really good food.
Yeah. If
Like,
you get
some of the best food I've had.
like,
at Nebraska.
like you might have a friend that works in the athletic department or doing there in business, and like, hey, where do you want to go? Nice restaurant in Lincoln. If you sometimes suggest, why don't we just go to the training table? They're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
you
you're
say
like,
yes.
Yeah. You can. So I found this out. I'm not a student at Omaha, UNO. I never have been, but there is a dining hall that is not very far from my house that, you pay, I don't know, $10 or whatever, and it's a buffet. That's where the students eat. That's part of their meal plan.
So
now I don't know if you can do that in the dorm rooms. And
Able, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's still around, but when I was going there, you could do it at Able.
So just a normal non-student could go there?
So I don't know if it was a non-student, but if you didn't have enough swipes or if you ran out of dining dollars or whatever it may be, you could go, like they had a pin pad there where you could go ahead and use it.
No, I'm talking like an average.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't think the Joe who works down the street at Huddle has any swipes left to go to Able for a lunch.
Well, I don't know if you can get into Able without having a student ID that accesses it.
That's true. That's true. They don't have.
Yeah,
they're probably a little bit buttoned up.
But I remember I was.
Bin Laden.
That is not a Bin Laden thing.
Why was it not? Security ramped up all over the place after 9/11.
That is a standard thing that if you have a bunch of students living in dorms, that the only people who could go in there are people who live there.
Not back in my day.
Back in your day, anybody could just walk in.
Like there might be somebody at the desk, but they didn't have to buzz you in or anything.
We used to have.
They might like somebody sitting at the desk, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you just walk to the elevator.
So the only thing guarding you from people breaking into your house or breaking into your room was the lock?
The biggest misconception when I was in school and the brief time I lived in the dorms is these co-ed dorms that no guys could go. Yeah, that was not the case.
That you couldn't go to the other floors?
They had co-ed floor. I mean, they had like girls only, boys only.
Yeah.
You couldn't go on the girls' floor. And they would have security. Yeah.
What was the security like?
They didn't have that with us. There wasn't even any sort of conversation.
That security was like the Oklahoma defense trying to stop Tavon Austin about a decade ago. That's what that security was like, keeping guys off girls' floors.
We had
or you would sneak them up the back elevator. I just heard these stories. I was never part of that. No one wanted to sneak me in.
Sure.
I don't get sneaked in. I walk through the front door.
Is that a music lyric? That's a bar, dude. That is low key.
Hey, the next Luke Combs song. That's going to pay them.
No, that would not be a Luke Combs lyric.
They don't sneak me in the back. I walk right through the front door, honey.
Well, that would be like a good honky tonk, maybe, when you're talking about a honky tonk bar. Like, I don't have to go through the back. I just walk through the front. I've been here a time or two. Anyway, the training table.
What a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
No.
They brought back some breakfast burritos one time for the training table, and it was some of the most upper tier. Now, here's the thing. There were moments where Matt Rhule was presenting the place, and then there were moments where he just made some kind of like funny jokes where he kind of turned in, like he transformed from, hey, I'm a student ambassador and I'm showing you around campus, to, oh, I'm just a regular guy and I can make jokes. Like when he was walking out, I don't know why I laugh so hard and why I watch it so many times, but when he walked out of the Starbucks and he goes, yeah, it's cashless. Like he was bragging about it being cashless. That's just such a dad thing to brag about, where it's like, yeah, we don't, you just have to, you can order on the phone.
That is wild that they have a Starbucks in there.
I don't think it's wild at all. I think there are Starbucks in hotels. There are Starbucks in airports. There are Starbucks in a lot of places. Like there's Starbucks in Barnes and Noble.
I think we're soft. I think you shut that down. The first time you lose a football game, I think you shut that down.
What do you mean?
No more Starbucks.
What do you mean you shut that down? That's awesome. That is such a cool thing. I'm sure there are a lot of recruits who love to drink coffee who can just walk in and just be like, yeah, I get Starbucks every day. That's dope. What do you want there to be? Like a gas station, like a little mini mart? And
I'm surprised they didn't do a local one, or maybe they didn't want to tick off any local coffee shop.
You don't think
so they went national brand, where you just are upset at the national brand?
Do you think National Scooters is on the phone right now with the Nebraska Athletic Department?
I mean, if they really wanted to flex, they would add a restaurant or something else you cannot get outside of that facility in the city of Lincoln.
Can you imagine if they added a Portillo's in the athletic department?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about people who would see. That's how you get people to buy club tickets and club suites and stuff like that, and spend an exuberant amount of money to get them to go to Nebraska football games. Put an In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Yeah, put an In-N-Out in Memorial. Put a Whataburger in Memorial. Then you'll get people.
No, not for everybody, but just for your football people. Yeah, you put it in your facility, something you can't get anywhere else that makes it extra special.
Can you imagine if, like,
Whataburger, by the way, celebrating its 75th anniversary day, and get a 75-cent hamburger if you go to Whataburger. But Whataburger doesn't want to come north of Kansas City because we don't have a star here that'll bring them to Omaha, even though they like the Omaha market. All right, sorry.
Bring it here.
Was that your TED Talk?
Oh, there's certain fast food places. Like you go, how come they are not in Omaha, a town of 1 million people with real world problems like traffic and crime? Why can't we get like a Buc-ee's? Why does it always have to stop?
Yeah.
Why are we still fighting with the Missouri and Kansas borders that it's like the Great Wall, that nothing comes north of there? We need a Buc-ee's. We would do well with a Whataburger. We need a star that has a connection to Whataburger that says, you know what? I will own some franchises. Bring him to Omaha.
So are you saying that the fate of having a Whataburger in Omaha is Dylan Raiola playing incredibly well, getting drafted #1 overall by the Dallas Cowboys, becoming the Cowboys quarterback, and then falling in love with Whataburger?
I would wish that on him, but
he would be great. You don't think that is like would be a dream of Dylan's?
On a different note, haven't you thought, like, you spent a lot more time in Lincoln recently than me?
Yeah.
Some places that are in Lincoln that would be considered chains,
that
have never made their way to Omaha, like Blaze Pizza, which is LeBron's pizza place. I am really surprised it has never moved into Omaha, or they just stick to the college model. There is one on the Minnesota campus, but it's not I don't think it's anywhere else in the Twin Cities, but it is right there on the Minnesota campus.
My cousin just got a job at that one.
Okay, so it's on the edge. It's like it's probably a block and a half away from the football stadium. As you're walking towards a hotel that I stay in a lot. But I'm like surprised that Blaze Pizza has never looked at a location in Omaha. But it's just been in downtown Lincoln for, what are we, about 6-7 years?
Yes.
Yeah. And
I went there pretty often. It was pretty good.
You hit the nail on the head in terms of, it's kind of a college town thing that they, you're right next to campus. So like you literally cross the street from where that Chipotle and Blaze Pizza is.
Rest in peace, Rock and Roll Runza. If you know, you know.
I did not know. What's Rock and Roll Runza?
It was a Runza that was nostalgic, and the waiters and waitresses were on roller skates.
Really?
Yeah. It was it
great. Like the Rainforest Cafe of Nebraska?
Yeah, kind of. That's a great way to describe it.
Okay. See, I we need more places that have like the roller skates and everything. I want to eat out of my window more often than you think.
Well, they got this cool place. It's
I know
not
it's
really
called
considered
Sonic.
Considered local. Peter, you have to correct me on this. Yeah, it's Sonic. They got a couple
Sonic?
locations.
But what if
L Street.
you don't think now in this day and
72nd.
age where we're so obsessed with nostalgia because we have convinced ourselves that everything was way better back then, that like if you were to just make like a classic place that was just all like wood and leather, and all the people and all the waitresses like and waiters were like rolling around on skates and everything like that, and they didn't have tablets, like you had to properly sign a check. And there wasn't that, like they just eliminated the awkward moment where it's like, we're just going to ask you a question real quick. Like, you don't think if they had a classic
20
place
years
like
ago,
that?
yes, when Rainforest Cafe was huge, those things have so much overhead.
Do they?
And I don't think for eating they're as big a draw as it used to be.
Well,
But
you know
yeah,
what?
because the Rock and Roll Runza was cool, but you didn't go there. Like if you loved Runza, that's the only Runza I'm going to.
So I'll say this. The
Because
Blaze,
downtown Lincoln, you have to find parking, all that stuff.
I'll say that the Blaze Pizza, I think I only ate there once. I didn't know too many people who ate there consistently, but I do think that Blaze Pizza had like a following. Like it has like kind of, I don't want to call it a cult, but they have like a very strong group of people who
Well, it's
just
convenient.
love going
it's
there
nice
and
and
love
quick.
eating there.
Nice and
Well,
quick.
also, it's like great. It's not bad pizza, and it's good for customization. It's like you can get whatever the hell you want. Has Seven Brew made its way to Omaha?
No, but they are building 2 locations.
progress.
Okay,
Yep.
because that's the only other one I could really think of in Lincoln, where it's like, why hasn't that made its way over here?
When that opens up, because I know what the backup is like on O Street. It's gonna be even worse here. I think they're doing 2 locations. Eric says even up to 2010, you could just walk into Able and any dining hall as a non-student at UNL.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you couldn't. I think because you now have to have a student ID to like get into any of those dorms. That is not a standard thing anymore. That you can't do that.
I'm glad that Runs is taking its rightful place back on campus because they got rid of it out of the Union. Right?
Did they get rid of the Qdoba? Did they get rid of the Qdoba though? Because the Qdoba was great.
I don't know what they're doing with that because they changed Selleck as soon as I left. They like changed everything.
Well, they were going to tear down Selleck, right? Weren't they going to tear
now
it
it's
down?
like
it's fine. Well, I don't think they're doing it anymore
it's
because
not
they're
a
like
dining hall. Now it's like they call it like a food hall. I don't know what they call it.
It is a food hall.
Can you imagine if they had a really big plans for Selleck and everything like that, and they're like, hey, by the way, we can't do this anymore. The football team is staying here for fall camp.
The first year that they stayed, the talk was that's the last people that are going to live in Selleck. So technically they were, but they were going to. I thought there were plans to tear down Selleck.
I wouldn't
put up more green space where you can tailgate and drink beer right in front of the Union on game day.
That would be great. But I do want to say that Selleck, that dining hall area, is incredibly popular. There's somebody who I would consider probably BMOC right now who might be answering some questions on all of these things, considering the Runza, how are you going to cut $27 million from the school? Why is there a Starbucks in the athletic department? What is the Memorial Stadium project going to look like? His name is Troy Dannon. He'll be talking later today before some other coaches for the football team talk. We will talk about that coming up next and kind of everything. Maybe are there a couple of things that you want to hear from Troy Dannon? Are there thoughts on your mind that he hasn't fully addressed yet that you're dying for him to hear? Talk about that all next here on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Moose Roofing is the place for you. Recently got an email from a listener who also is a client of Moose Roofing. And actually became a client because their neighbor behind their house was having their roof looked at and redone. And so they went over and they said, you know what? My house is a little bit older, same neighborhood. Most of the homes were built back in the 50s. It's time to replace that roof. And so the more they asked their neighbor and found out and watched the process of Moose Roofing, they said, I want Moose Roofing to come take a look at my house. So they scheduled an inspection. Moose Roofing showed up. Now, the one thing I've been telling you about my good friends at Moose Roofing is communication is number one. You're never going to be caught off guard. They're going to walk you through the entire process. They want to know what your concerns are before they ever set foot on your roof and start taking pictures and video and get in your attic. And then they explain the technology and what they do that can help you save money with a brand new roof, or just a tweak here or a tweak there. They also work with your insurance company, because when you are doing something with your roof, you're like, oh my gosh, my insurance company, they're going to give me the ring around. Moose Roofing will help you. Pat Moose will even pick up the phone and say, not today, my friends. We need a new roof on this house, and this is what we have. This is what she needs. This is what we're going to get. That's what they do. They go above and beyond. And then throughout the entire professional job, when it's done, you'll never know they were there. All of the cleanup, they'll get it done. They will make you satisfied. Any follow-up as well. Communication top-notch, service, and reputation, which they have been in business for nearly 30 years, over now 16,000 roofs from Western Iowa all the way to Lincoln and in between. If you need to look at your most valuable asset, your roof, your home, trust it to Moose Roofing. Local contractor, here before the storm, during the storm, after the storm. Schedule an inspection today online at mooseroofing.com.
This has got to be like one of the greatest karaoke songs of all time, right? In terms of, so not maybe in terms of plays, but in terms of if you got on the stage and you sang "We Didn't Start the Fire" and you were able to rattle, keep it going, Peter. You were able to rattle off all of this. I feel like without a doubt, you would get a standing ovation.
It's a tough song to do.
Oh, it's got to be,
Yeah,
which is why.
And whatever that new was it Fall Out Boy that did the new one?
Yes.
You can't capture that magic again.
Billy Joel, the GOAT. I got to watch that documentary. After I did not know that our own Connor Happer was such a massive Billy Joel fan. Think Troy Dannon's a Billy Joel fan?
That was quite the transition.
Hey, I'm learning here, man. Typically, you're the one sitting in this seat, and you've mastered.
I am a fill-in for your usual host this morning.
You're listening to Matt and Gary here on 1620 The Zone. Just for today, one night only.
You know what the number one karaoke song is? The one that has been requested and has been sung the most.
Party in the USA.
That's a good one because I hear that a lot. Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Shania Twain.
Really?
Yeah. Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way.
Okay.
Number 2.
I feel like
I Will Survive. Gloria Gaynor. Take Me Back. 1979.
Country
Number
Road.
3.
Is Country Road on there?
I'm sure it's on this list, but I'm just looking at the top 5. Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody.
See, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
That's a really tough one.
And then Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper singing Shallow.
I hate that one.
You got to do it as a duet. That's tough to do just as a single.
You have to. You're absolutely correct. I feel like my success rate with doing it as a single is 50% in terms of trying to charm a woman.
I think if you can do something from Grease, like You're the One That I Want, you could also sing Shallow. You know what? I would go back to back. That would be my back-to-back partner karaoke.
Here's the thing. If you're going to do Shallow, though, you have to have a really good girl part, right? Like, don't you have to have, because you can kind of get away with it as a guy.
Yeah. The Lady Gaga part of that is difficult. The Bradley Cooper part of it is pretty easy.
It is so easy. Yeah. Now, I think You're the One That I Want is probably easier to do as a duet than that. Now, I've said it over and over again. Do you know my go-to karaoke song?
She Got Back.
No, God, no. Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Oh.
Is that yours? Is Baby Got Back yours?
No. My favorite, and I do not karaoke very often. Shout out Winchester's over by your second home. Great place for burgers and karaoke.
Are you referring to a casino?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the last time I sang karaoke.
Okay.
And my go-to is William Hung, She Bang.
What?
You're not familiar with William Hung?
I'm not. Can you
Peter, do you have knowledge of William Hung when he had his 15 minutes of fame?
I don't think I am familiar.
The greatest performance I've ever seen at karaoke was Dear Maria. Okay. That is an incredible song.
So you've never...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. It does not relate well to live radio. It's better if you come see it in karaoke because you've got to see the visuals.
Will you be performing live for us anytime soon?
Not a chance.
Someone who will be performing live for us in a couple of hours, his name is Troy Dannon. He's the athletic director of Nebraska Athletics.
Oh, baby, when she move. I go crazy because she looks like a flower, but she's like a bee. Like every girl in history.
Keep going.
No. I just got it in my head now.
I've never done it before, but I want to do slow motion. I like it like she working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion. Come on. That'd be a great one. Because you don't have to sing it. It's just everybody. You just get everybody laughing at the club. Because I'm a bad singer. You know that. So my go-to is like, not how can I put on the best performance? Because that's never going to happen. It's just how can I get the people like invigorated? How can I get them going? Sweet Caroline.
Yes.
If you ever want to cop out at karaoke, just play Sweet Caroline. You will never go wrong. It's a total.
You know what? You know a good place for you.
Mo and Curly's. That's probably the bar I frequent the most.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you end up at Mo and Curly's?
So we start. So here's the thing. Full transparency.
You know that this building has a connection to Mo and Curly's. You may see a familiar face in there.
Is there someone who also works on a different radio station who pretty consistently frequents there?
You just might.
Okay.
Good spot. I just can't believe that you would find your way into that spot.
Here's my thing.
It's out of your comfort zone. It's way away from your house.
It is a while. It is a minute. I want to be fully transparent here. I don't go out as much as you think I do. Okay. I am not painting the town red.
You just go to one place.
No, that's not true. Believe it or not, I enjoy staying home. I enjoy chilling out.
Well, that's your second home. You slide right into the leather seats and you're right there in the sports book and you got the TVs right in front. You got in front, to your left, to your right. You got the kiosks that are back behind your right shoulder. You got the desk right there that can help with anything. It's like the second home. You walk around the corner and you get the free drinks and you come back in. I see your game.
I haven't been there in 15 days. Okay. So
the fact that you know how many days you have not been there is a little bit frightening, but continue on.
Ask me if I'm going back there tonight.
You'll be there today.
No, I won't. I will not. I have other plans, believe it or not. But what was I saying? When we did the College World Series, right, and we would go out to Lefties or Roccos or whatever, anything like that, it would get way too crowded and the covers were too high and everything. You just didn't want to pay $20 to get into a bar that just should not cost that much to get into. So you would take a walk to the Capitol District where it's located, and you would go to Mo and Curly's, and there would be karaoke there, and it would be a good time. And they have a nice little patio.
Different. Mo and Curly's off of 108th and Maple.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Which is one of the fantastic dive bars in all of Omaha.
I'm talking about the young people Mo and Curly's that a lot of college students go to.
So that's why I was taken back. I'm like, ooh, that's way out of your area.
No,
okay.
I thought I was a little confused at first when you said I could easily walk to and from my place to Mo and Curly's, which I have done before. Ubers were expensive, man. You weren't kidding about it. You warned me during the College World Series. You're like, hey, bud, if you're going out, probably find another way home.
I think that place downtown is
don't say they're closing.
No. There's been a couple places have gone in and out of there. No, they're not closing.
Good,
but that one is much different compared to the one on Maple.
Okay,
much different. I prefer the one on Maple much better.
I haven't been to the one on Maple, so I'll have to go there. Real quick, Troy Dannon speaking today. Funny enough, he spoke yesterday at the luncheon. What do they call there's a name for the luncheon that he was speaking.
Have lunch with Michael Severe. That's what it's called at Tiburon, isn't it? Doesn't that say it on the marquee?
It's Big Red Brunch.
Okay.
It's sponsored by.
That's what they should call it.
Lunch with Michael.
Lunch with Michael at Tiburon.
I'll tell you this: I've had lunch with Michael. Not that special.
Whoa. Michael and I have never gone to lunch.
Really?
Yeah, I would. With one of the best foodies around, it's not special to go to lunch with Michael?
Well, not to the point where we have to write articles about it. You don't have people writing articles about him and I going to lunch.
But he's got a very distinct taste of restaurants.
He
doesn't take in anything unique.
Well, now
does he pick up the check?
No.
Or do you guys go Dutch?
First off, we switch off every other.
Oh, that's okay. That's cute.
What do you mean cute? It's not cute.
Do you keep it? Oh, yeah. Hey, last time I was here, you paid. Let me get it.
No. It's actually when I text him, I go, "Hey, my turn. Where are we going?" But now, Michael, we have been on. He now knows what I like, and he now knows my taste. So he now takes me to specific spots that he thinks that I will enjoy.
Okay.
But then we
said, okay, hey, Matt, we're at this place. It's a really nice place. What you like to eat is on the back side of the menu. There, it's a little bit smaller area. We'll just say that you're older than 12, and we'll see if we can get away with it. Is that what he does?
I'm not ordering from the kids' menu. Okay.
I would like.
You know that I have sophisticated taste.
I would like a grilled cheese sandwich.
You often make the jokes about me growing up with a silver spoon and
can I get Doritos with that?
I grew up going to Shaw's Crab House, man. I knew what oysters were before I knew what hot dogs were. That's not true. That is such a snarky thing to say. I hate that I said that. I'm such a POS. Anyway, Big Red Brunch. Troy Dannon spoke yesterday. Did you read any of the things that he talked about? Part of me is thinking, why the hell is he having a press conference today?
Not all the media were there yesterday.
Yes, and that is true. But he did address a lot of the things that we'll hear being addressed today. One of those things, and I think probably the more important things that he talked about, was the fact that he mentioned, him having to be careful with presenting the Memorial Stadium project to the Board of Regents now because of the announcement of they're going to have to cut $27 million by the end of the year in terms of the academics. And I think he had a pretty interesting quote where he said, if and I'm paraphrasing here, but if we keep waggling the tail, it's gonna end up biting us. And I don't know, it's just like this Memorial Stadium project, it seemed like when Trev announced it, it was going to be, hey, we're going to roll this out, we're going to bang this out, we're going to try and finish this as quickly as possible. Yes, there are going to be people who are like going to be upset about it, but this is something that we have to do. And like Trev made it out to be like, I don't want to say he made it out to be like, man, the stadium is falling apart and we might not have it in like 4 years if we don't get this done. But there definitely was a sense of urgency in terms of like, all right, we're going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. Where it just seems like with this one, when it comes to the, raising the certain amount of money that they have to raise and trying to get people aboard and now revealing the plans and trying to getting people to understand why they're doing what they're doing. It just, this stadium project has turned into more than just a labor of love, where it's just like, man, if they actually get it over the finish line, it's going to be really,
isn't
really
the climate around college athletics is different from when Trev tried to shove this through.
1,000,000%.
Now, I know this is, whether it be Trev Alberts or Troy Dannon, this is the largest thing they will ever do at the University of Nebraska, and this will be their legacy of redesigning Memorial Stadium, so hopefully it can make it another 100 years. But the climate of college athletics has changed. The campus climate with the academics has changed. It was still there when Trev was trying to do this, but now it went from $450 million to probably, when this is all said and done, because also the economy has changed.
Yes.
Is we're probably looking at $1 billion, and it may be scaled way back. I mean, Trev shot for the moon with what he wanted to do, and he got shot down. His rollout was not great. He did not get everybody on board before he went public with it. Thought everybody would be like, oh, it's Memorial Stadium, I'll do anything. That was not the case. The presentation was poor. That's why I said earlier in the week, now that this has come up on the academic side, and again, academics and athletics at Nebraska are separate, but still, they coexist. They're all part of the family, and there is the optics part of this is, how do you roll this out? And then what is a timeline? Because if you think about it, this would be the last year in Trev's world. If Trev was still here and this got approved, this would be the last year with a scaled down stadium. And then 2026 would be the brand new stadium.
Well, I'm also now thinking, if you're like looking at the timeline of the football team, right? The football team, in theory, should be really, really good by the time, like by next year. Like that should, like 2026 and 2027, in theory, should be the years where Matt Rhule has this program rolling to the point where they're competing for college football playoffs. They're entering the year ranked in the coaches poll, the AP poll. And you are getting to the point where, like, all right, finally, in theory, Nebraska is back to national relevancy. And then during that time, during that momentum, when you're probably at the peak of people being happy, and this has been building for so long, that's when you decide to limit capacity. That's when you're going to decide of, hey, we got to tear some things up. That's when you're going to start doing that stuff.
I think that'll be tough. In that world, the stadium's going to be there longer than the football team.
Yes.
And you're going to go through ups and downs. I mean, they announced a stadium project when the program wasn't playing very well. I mean, so what this is a tweak of what was already in place, but it will not be on the fast track. And they can do some different things that don't involve immediately tearing down South Stadium.
And just having,
it's a tricky situation that it's frustrating around here because there's a lot of other schools in the Big Ten that have been able to do projects like this. Like look at Penn State. The Big Ten Network was on their tour and they were at Penn State the other day and they started to show some of the stuff that's going on inside of the stadium. And that went pretty quickly. And I believe that was a $700 million project. Iowa got something done. Wisconsin got something done.
Northwestern.
Texas got something done. Northwestern's building a whole brand new stadium. Vanderbilt got something done. But here, it has gone really, really slow compared to other places. And maybe it's a political thing. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe it's also a money thing. I mean, we're only a state of 1.9 million people.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, it's gone slower around here. It needs to happen because the fan is changing. And the fan that is older, that has been loyal to Nebraska football, even through the ups and downs, and they've seen more ups than they've seen downs. If you've been a fan for a long, long time and a season ticket holder, that stadium is going to turn over where the average age is not 58 years old. Sure. At some point, the average age of the fan that goes to a Nebraska game is going to be in the 40s. And what they want compared to the older fan is much different. And so regardless of what's going on in the field, you have to think about what your future fans look like and what they want and what the industry has, and then go about it that way. It's just, this is, there have been a lot of times where, Nebraska was going to do, Bill Byrne had money raised to do the East Stadium expansion. He had it all raised. They were ready to announce it, and then 9/11 hit. And so Steve Peterson comes in, and then that takes off. And but there's a lot of things that have gotten in the way of major expansion projects that have to do with finances elsewhere. So I think Dannon is smart enough, and I'm glad that he recognized that, hey, we're athletics. Yeah, he knows that, man. And you know this. I mean, people that are in that are faculty in Lincoln. That $27.5 million is going to hit a lot of people. I mean, that is not a great way to start the school year in Lincoln. With you got to cut $27.5 million, and your tuition is going up. People are losing their jobs. Majors are being cut. All of that kind of stuff. So Nebraska athletics have to weave and bob. Yeah, because they need this to get started, and because they're looking at money that they have to raise and money that they can benefit from. Again, sure. Dannon is kind of off on the side said this. They make $69 million right now from Memorial Stadium, like football that is in there and everything that goes into football donations. Yeah. They put that on an umbrella. They believe with the reconfiguring of seats that go with higher donations for people that have not been donating or more luxury seating, that they can go to $96 million a year they can make out of Memorial Stadium. So that's a huge gap. You don't make that huge gap by nothing happening. Sure. So you have to get this started, but you have to figure out how to get it started.
Well, and we got to get to a break here real quick, but you couldn't be more spot on in terms of the fact that before this announcement, at least in the areas that I was in at the University of Nebraska, there were people worried about, hey, they might cut things and they might cut down on certain programs that we're doing and things that we enjoy and benefits that we're giving to students. And now you have this announcement. I think it's incredibly smart, incredibly intuitive for Troy Dannon to be the type of guy to be like, hey, look, we have to wait this out in a way, or we have to make sure that we're careful here, and not an athletic director who's going to go, hey, we're going to push. I'm going to throw my weight around. We're the athletic department. We make all this money. We're going to get these things done because it's more important. So I credit him. We'll keep talking about this because there's even more things that Troy Dannon is going to talk about today in his press conference that are some pressing matters that both relate to the fan and to the current student athlete. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about an orangutan. Don't go anywhere. Listen to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Phenomenal song choice here, Peter Krenzer.
Feel Good Friday.
Well, because I don't think you know what we're about to talk about, but this is like the ultimate walkout. I think if you are a big deal and you're great at a sport and you have a singular walkout, I can just imagine just slow-mo walking out to the stroke.
This was a couple of guys in the College World Series. This was their walk-up song.
Great choice.
The stroke is incredible. The guy that I'm referring to is Scotty Scheffler, because I feel like Scotty Scheffler should probably walk out to that song every time he gets on the golf course. He's currently sitting in 12th place in the St. Jude FedEx Championship. He's 5 strokes back of the lead. Can you guess, Gary? Maybe if you've already looked at it. But
no, because I think the FedEx is one of the most meaningless championships that are out there.
I want to know why. You're the golf fan. I'm the major fan. Why is it one of the most useless? It seems like a big deal. The purse is $20 million.
Yeah, they're in it for money. They're in it for money.
I mean, a lot of athletes are.
Yeah, but in this particular thing, 3 weeks, you're in it for money. Move the PGA back to August. Okay, so that we don't shut off the faucet of golf in August.
Well, I do think that would be an incredible way to actually make the PGA unique.
Not everybody participates in it either.
Is there not? See,
I don't think everybody that is eligible is participating.
Well, also, too, it's
or
hard.
Has in the past.
This is one of those events as well when you don't have the live guys, or at least some of the live guys competing in it, that it definitely does lose value.
I mean, thank God the Ryder Cup is this year.
Good
so
Lord.
I'll have interest for golf through the fall of 2025.
Well, this will be pretty big, though, in deciding some of the Ryder Cup spots, at least, right? I mean, does this count toward the points? Because I know that there are some pretty big names that are technically not in the top 6. Shout out JJ Spawn, by the way. You win one tournament, and then you end up being in the Ryder Cup. So great for JJ.
I think Keegan Bradley will make it personal on his last choices. Like there's some guys that you would think are pretty good Ryder Cup players that he may have beef with that he doesn't add.
Henley,
Spieth, and Justin Thomas, I think, are 2 guys that he's never gotten along with.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, JT, so he's outside the top 6 right now, but he's within the top 12. Which is technically you have 12 spots, so that you'd be good enough to do that. But anyway, what I was saying is Scotty Scheffler is 5 back of the lead. Can you guess what his odds are to win this tournament?
I'll just say they're the best odds to win.
They are the best odds to win. Plus 360. What in the that is ridiculous. That is crazy to me. He is 5 strokes back. Now, granted, it's 3 days left, right? Yeah. There's a lot, 54 holes, a lot of golf to be played. But to be plus 360, and I think he's 200 better to plus 200. So the next guy's Tommy Fleetwood, he's plus 450, and then Bhatia is plus 700. He's in the league, which, by the way, if you want to do a $10 split, I think that'd actually be a pretty good bet. You go 10 on Bhatia, 10 on Scotty Scheffler. At low, you make $16. At high, you make $50. Thank you for listening to my gambling show. Did you see what happened, though? The most viral thing that happened at the St. Jude FedEx Championship?
I did not. I was at a local golf championship.
Apparently, Scotty Scheffler is so popular that even animals want to get in on watching his dominance, because there was an orangutan that was just sitting on one of the greens, that was just sitting in a chair, and not just he wasn't sitting in a chair, but he was chilling.
I know Memphis gets a little bit crazy during the summer. It gets a little hot there. Or an orangutan, just
look up orangutan PGA.
Was it by itself?
No, it was sitting next to a bunch of people. It was by a green. You see the rope there. You see a bunch of patrons who are sitting.
Bracelet on?
Which I wasn't going to say anything about you still having your bracelets on.
I didn't shower last night. Okay.
Or this morning?
No. It's okay. Not everybody showers every day.
I mean,
I'll make up for it this weekend.
I shower twice a day. I mean, that's
just different.
See, I love the flex with the 2 wristbands. Now, I will say this: when I was at the CWS, I made sure every morning that before I got to the station that I ripped off the wristbands.
I don't know why I didn't rip them off. I just realized here in the last 10 minutes I still have them on.
I'm not going to. No one's going to judge. No one's going to judge you.
No, you know what? Hey, I loaded up on some Axe body spray, put on a hat. We're good to go.
You made fun of me of being the Axe body spray guy.
Yeah, because I thought it might work because it does cloud up some things. So I'm like, if it works for Matt, it could work for me.
Do you think I smell? Do you think I'm a smelly human? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
All right, back to the orangutan. An orangutan walks into a golf course, sits next to
can
fans.
You please look it up and see what I'm talking about? Because it is one of the coolest things that I've seen.
I feel like I am being duped into something here.
No, it is. This is all in your alley, by the way. I am shocked that you have not seen this. I think you're going to be mad once you see this that I didn't lead off the show with this.
Okay. So the orangutan is named Jack.
Okay.
Yeah. He has a knack for driving, along with taking in golf.
Yeah. And he's sitting next to, I think, what is his owner, just like kind of leaning over the stripe watching golf. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. Guy's smoking a cigar right next to the orangutan. I don't think that is good for the orangutan.
I think worse things have happened to orangutans, like being owned by Mike Tyson or Justin Bieber. It's probably good for the orangutan.
It's a very calm orangutan.
Why can I not find this? Is it on Twitter?
It's on TikTok.
It's on TikTok. Or it's as if you just Google search it. There's just
it may not be real. People are saying that it might be fake.
No, I saw the video.
Yeah.
How is this not? What do you mean it's not real?
And there's a discussion if it's a baboon or an orangutan.
Are you going to really fact check me here about me not knowing my types of monkeys?
Somebody said it might be John Daly.
It's not John Daly. That's rude to John Daly.
That's what I'm just reading the comments.
You believe everything you read on the internet?
Not everything.
Just 95% of things?
Somebody says they're coming out of the trees now.
Where are you? I just saw the video. Now why are you on a subreddit of the orangutan at the PGA Championship?
Well, once you go there, you never go back.
Once you go orangutan, you never go.
No, once you go down the comments, you can never stop. They always say, don't read the comments.
I'm shocked.
I'm reading the comments. If you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it.
I'm shocked that you're not on Instagram.
Well, now that they got a sharing service, definitely not going to be on Instagram.
Well, if you're on Instagram,
you could see all about?
If you're on Instagram, you could see me do my fantasy football punishment today.
I'll just hear about it. Because I always tell you send me videos, and so you send me videos.
Yeah, that get very rare responses from you.
No, I loved your not boxing, but wrestling.
Yes.
The other night that got a response.
Hey, thank you. By the way, I got tweeted at by the guy that
Johnny Cadillac.
No, Johnny Cadillac is the wrestler that I will be managing on September 5th. Okay. All right. Why are you laughing? Johnny's a heavyweight, man. Johnny's a big guy. He looks like Bam Bam Bigelow. All right. He's Bam Bam meets Vader. That's what he looks like. And I'm his manager. I'm his Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Brian Blade, who is a part of the faction.
Great guy. He is Mr. Wrestling in this state.
Yes, that Johnny is facing off against. Tweeted at me and told me that he was going to break my back. And you stood up for me.
Yes, the guy's in trouble. He doesn't know what's coming.
He has no idea what's coming. I'm gonna end him. I'm gonna end Doomsday, and Johnny Cadillac is gonna go over on September 5th. Talking about people who will be going over maybe this year. We'll be talking about a team that is near and dear to my heart, and then talking about a team that is making a splash, and then talking about an athletic director that is also making splashes. It's the 8:00 hour. We got
it was a baboon. It's not an orangutan.
I'm just going off of what the internet told me.
A baboon.
It said an orangutan was there. The announcer said it was an orangutan.
Yeah, but there's a difference. I'm finding out between a baboon and an orangutan.
Mike Schaefer at 9.
Grown adults really have no idea what an orangutan looks like.
Matt Verszall at 9:20.
We are doomed. We are.
You're listening to Matt and Gary on 1620 The Zone. feel like the theme of today's show, on top of just anarchy, because I'm in chair. For those who are watching the live stream, I'm typically sitting in the chair that Gary, our fill and co-host today, is sitting in. Outside of the theme of this show being slight chaos, has been people who did it again. Troy Dannon's going to do it again today. He's going to talk about the slice of the pie and the rev share and all of the financials in the athletics. Matt Rhule did it again yesterday when he was walking through his campus. Not campus. He was walking through his facilities, showing everybody the incredible Starbucks. Oh, and we found out that Dr. Suzanne Elsa likes tea. So for those who may be trying to get her a gift at the end of the year, maybe some black tea or English breakfast or anything like that. I don't know. Some people might want to just randomly gift things to people. Some people who also did it again was Texas Tech. Look at them, man. They went out. They got the number 5 prospect in all of the 2027 football recruiting class. They also, they've been doing this now pretty consistently over the last couple of days. Peter, do you have the clip that I so graciously asked you to go and cut up for us?
I do indeed.
Okay. So yesterday, did you see Texas Tech's Twitter by any chance? The video that they released after they got a commitment from LaDamian Guyton, who is an edge out of Savannah, Georgia. Guyton, by the way, is
beautiful city.
I've been to the Savannah, Georgia airport, but I haven't been to Savannah, Georgia.
Go see the Savannah Bananas.
Are they really based out of I
Yes.
guess the headquarters is based out of there, but do they play there
yeah.
a lot still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good for them.
I think the world's largest IMAX is in Savannah.
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia is beautiful. If you just you could do the corridor of Charleston and Savannah.
Okay.
I would like to.
I did not know that.
St. Patty's.
But the Savannah Bananas started in Savannah, Georgia at Grayson Park, and they still play. Well, that's where they start their year. I think they play a couple of home games every month.
Okay.
There, and when they do, it's free.
First time I ever flew out of Southwest was at Savannah, Georgia. He's the LaDamian Guyton, number 2 prospect in all of Georgia, number 2 edge in the class of 2027, which last month I felt like we did the same thing again with Texas Tech, where they went out and they got the number 1 offensive line recruit in the class of 2026 and stolen from Texas. And so the tweet from Texas Tech's page was, do you know the Gen Z writing where it's like small letter, big letter, small letter, big letter, and it's like to make fun of people?
Oh, yeah. I know that. I know the backwards lettering on the hat.
Yeah.
I'm all up to date.
And so their tweet was, you can't recruit in Lubbock, or they say you can't recruit in Lubbock. My pushback to that statement is, are you really recruiting, or are you just paying a lot of money? Because let's be real here. Recruiting was truly everybody's got somewhat of an even playing field. Mm-hmm. And you go up, and I'm recruiting you, Gary, and I have to do my best to relate to you, to create a relationship with you, to try and convince you, hey, you are our guy. This is the best spot for you. While 8 other teams are literally doing the same thing. And there are just some people who were better at it than others, which is why there were teams who were great at recruiting and who had a ton of talent, some that weren't. I just want to make this very clear. What Texas Tech is not necessarily recruiting. They are buying. Mm-hmm. Okay? They are buying. And go ahead and play the clip here, because I do kind of respect. They dropped this whole little montage, highlight video bragging about it. Now, they didn't bleep out any of the swear words, okay, in the song. And so we're only going to play the first 5 seconds. But the first 5 seconds is all you need to hear. It's Joel Klatt, of all people. They took they took the voice of Joel Klatt and they put it over their video to prove a point. Peter, go ahead and play it.
You want just the first 5?
First 5 seconds. As soon as Joel Klatt says the last word, you got to get out of there.
All right, here we go.
You ready?
They seem to have a lot of momentum in recruiting and their spending.
Cut it. Last word. What did you hear? Spending. Mm-hmm. Spending. I kind of respect the hell out of them for being like, yeah, we are going to admit that, hey, we are committed into spending all these dollars and we don't absolutely give a damn, and we're going to try and go ahead and just buy this team. And it's just, it's very, I know we are in the age and Like, it's no longer taboo to pay the players, but I still find it so weird when it just teams just willingly like put out into the public, like, yeah, we got more money than you. Like, not even like pro teams even really like brag about that.
No, because a lot of them are in a salary cap league.
And
but you kind of do brag if you sign somebody to like a 3-year, $165 million contract. I don't know. Hey, Texas Tech is rolling the dice. They've got a lot of money. They got a lot of oil money. They got people that want Texas Tech to be successful. They have gone all in on this model because they're allowed to. And it either is going to be successful or it's going to be an absolute just bottoming out. Now, there are a lot more coaches, I think, that are out there that know you got to play the game and you like to pay the players. But if somebody's coming to your program just because you're paying them the most money, how many times does that work out? Without building a relationship, getting to know them, see if they fit in with the culture of your locker room?
We're going to see if it works out with Bryce Underwood, because that I feel like is one of probably the biggest examples so far in this era of college football. And even Brian Kelly said it after he flipped from LSU to Michigan. He said, it's clear that the young man wanted to be here. It's clear that he wanted to play here for the Tigers, but you just cannot pass up that amount of financial commitment from a team like that to say no and not play there. I do think it's very clear the fact that like Bryce Underwood had to be given $10 million to be a Michigan Wolverine. I mean, he clearly wanted to commit to LSU. He clearly wanted to be in Baton Rouge. Now, Sherrone Moore, and he made it very clear during the Big Ten Media Day that
Now, the guy that's going to Texas Tech is not a quarterback, correct?
No, it's not. Okay. But I'm saying to your point about like, how often does it work when you just bring in a guy for money and not bring in a guy because he has relationships? Like, I think that might be the shining example of this season of like, what is that going to look like when you clearly bring in Underwood, who is just like, yeah, I'm getting paid way too much money not to be a Wolverine. And so, and also too, I think people are rooting for Texas Tech because they want their team in a way to act like Texas Tech.
You think there are more people that are rooting for or rooting against this model that they get burned by this?
Rooting for.
But not everybody can do what Texas Tech is doing.
See, but I think that the fact that Texas Tech is in the Big 12 and Texas Tech isn't a helmet necessarily, like they're not a helmet game necessarily, and they're not one of the biggest brands. I think that teams like Texas Tech and teams like Clemson kind of give hope to the rest of college football.
But they're two different models, though.
They are, two different models for sure. But I believe that college football fans you're always going to root for Nebraska. You're always going to root for the team that you root for and that you went to the school, whatever connection you have. But I think that there will be some college football fans where if Clemson is playing Texas or Texas Tech is playing Alabama, or these teams are making runs in the college football playoff, are going to root for these teams and hope that these teams win. So you could be like, oh my God, we can do that too.
I'm rooting for this to be a failure, because if I'm a program that has spots on my roster, I'm like, this will be great. Because when they get there and the money is not true and it becomes a failure and they start looking elsewhere, I'm going to be there for them. Now, we're not going to pay you the same amount of money, but you can earn that money by your play here.
Sure.
We're not going to be paying you up front a gobsmack of money. Come on down. USC. Let's see that recruiting class when kids realize in November that money that they were promised is not real. And they're like, well, I'm going somewhere else. And you're like, hey, how you doing?
Well, I think you are totally right in the fact that you're talking from the team's perspective. Like if I'm an athletic department, oh my God, I want Texas Tech to fail. I don't want my fans coming up with pitchforks and knives and saying to me, oh, hey, Texas Tech was able to win all these games and be national championship contenders by spending all this money and making all these sacrifices.
To be fair to Texas Tech, it has worked out in their first go around.
Yeah.
Because it's softball.
Sure.
They paid a lot of money to get an ace, and it got them to the college softball final series, which they've never been to before.
If I like,
but for what they're spending, Joey McGuire, who I love listening to him, I think a fantastic football coach and a person who has gone in on all this model because Texas Tech can, and somebody involved with Texas Tech wants it to happen. Doesn't he have to win a national championship or be playing for a national championship within a couple of years?
Yes. Oh, the pressure's on from the boosters, we're giving you all. I mean, it's a little bit. I'm not saying that Jimbo Fisher was necessary. I think he got let go before we really got into this pay for play stuff.
I mean, to be honest, this has gone on for a long time. It just now is public.
Yeah. But Jimbo, we gave him a ton of credit for, oh my God, you got the greatest recruiting class of all time, like the highest rated recruiting class ever. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't a hoorah moment. That was all right, now you have to win. Like, now you better go out and use that talent and use the investments and like turn that into victories. And it'll always go back to what you said a couple of months ago, where in this era of rev share and NIL, we're going to find out who the coaches are. We're going to find out if you're really that good of a coach. And all this money is great for Texas Tech. Yeah, it don't matter unless you have good coaches around that team that's able to develop those players. But I definitely do think I couldn't imagine being a fan of an ACC team or a Big 12 team, firmly being on the outside looking in, firmly not being at the big boy table. And I could imagine that teams of those conferences that know that, hey, if a Super League comes and we may be left out, I'm rooting for Texas Tech because I want their success to put pressure on my athletic department to try and attempt to do the same thing. Same thing with Clemson. I'm rooting for Clemson because I want my athletic department to point at Clemson and tell my head coach, hey, look, they didn't use the portal that often. They didn't have to spend all this money. They went into high school and they did it bare bones. And now you got college football analysts who are saying they're the best team in the country. So it's going to be an incredible. I mean, look, this college football season is going to be so incredibly interesting because you have the dichotomy of the SEC versus the Big Ten versus the ACC versus the Big 12 and how those relationships are going to mend and how people put themselves in positions to succeed. Hey, we got a lot more show left. We got Mike Schaefer at 9:00. We got Matt Verszall over at 9:20. And then I know you don't want to fully dabble. It is a Friday football fiesta. I know it's only preseason football, but we'll dabble a little bit in a preseason football because my team plays on Sunday. Your team plays on Saturday. And a lot of important things kind of happened yesterday in preseason football. Don't go anywhere. You listen to Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
this stash out once again. This off-season's been long, but I'm back with a song. Let's hope the team starts off real strong, but how good we'll see. No matter what, I'll be making these songs. I'm back, Swirsky, Bear Train, singing I love Bears football. Just make it worth our time, win some games now, baby.
I love Bears. Come on, Gary, sing with
Swirsky's got the rhyme, so sing with me.
This is the equivalent of Peter, your super fan.
Dude. Oh, we should have gone. Oh my God, he had a great song yesterday too. Yes.
The outside noise is back. Each year
Level of concern, 1-2, hair on fire of the Chicago Bears quarterback.
But last season's now long gone.
All right. Now the song.
This year is a brand new dawn, so who's with me? It's gonna
That's
be
Dave
all
Swirsky.
happy songs from old Swirsky.
I do not know Dave. I'm not familiar with his work.
Dave Swirsky is the
Chuck Swirsky's son?
Is the son of Bill Swirsky.
Who is Bill Swirsky? It'd be better if it was Chuck Swirsky.
Bill Swirsky
Chuck Swirsky is the longtime announcer.
Come on, you don't remember who Bill Swirsky is?
I'm not familiar with Bill's work.
Bill Swirsky is George Wentz's character, the SNL Superfan. That's who this guy is. This guy has made himself to be.
So it's Swirsky season.
Swirsky season. He is Dave Swirsky, Bill Swirsky's son. And so he is like the new SNL super fan for the Chicago Bears. And he's a very good musician. And he makes incredible music. And can you look him up? Dave Swirsky, he's got an incredible mustache. His mustache, is the greatest mustache I've ever seen in my life. It is incredible. He looks like a mix of the one of the guys from the SNL, not George Wendt, the other dude, and Mike Ditka. He's got a little Ditka in him.
Makes me miss the Super Bowl shuffle. Times were easier. Bears were better back then.
We're not here to get in trouble. We're here to the Super Bowl shuffle. I'm Samurai Mike, and I hit them clean. Fast and mean. I haven't listened to that song forever because we are typically not in the Super Bowl. They made one, though, they made I thought that people wanted the
Yes, they have made the Super Bowl.
No.
Since then.
They wanted people to make the 2018 team to make a Super Bowl shuffle. So that's happening. I don't know if Caleb is playing. Caleb might be playing on Sunday. So is Pat playing? Patrick Mahomes playing?
Nope. He usually does not play the first two preseason games, but he will play the third. He might. I don't think he's playing in Arizona. He as a number one quarterback plays a little bit more in the preseason because Andy Reid approaches the preseason differently.
Yeah.
So I think next week when they're at home, he'll play the first half or the first quarter, and then usually that third preseason game he'll play quarter and a half, maybe two.
So by the way, you saying that Andy Reid approaches the preseason differently.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like everybody here should probably approach the preseason the same way that Andy Reid approaches the preseason when you're considering the fact that they are consistently in the Super Bowl. So maybe take that guy's strategy.
Well, they do. It might not be the way they approach the preseason because the starters don't play in abundance.
Sure.
It's just the way they approach training camp. Like it's a hard training camp. Like it's a very physical training camp where it taxes guys and it stresses guys. And guys go back in November and they allude to being in St. Joe and how it was great how Andy prepared him for the grind of the season by training camp. I mean, like Zach Taylor last night, smart play. You know, the Bengals are saddled by slow starts.
Yeah.
I mean, good to see Burrow and Chase. They look good last night in their brief series. But I don't think a number one quarterback should play at all in the first game because there's weird stuff happen in the first game because it's not. You have mixed lineups out there, and the guys that you've been working in training camp with, like 11 on 11 and your number one unit, probably they're not out there. And I would, especially if as a number one quarterback and my number one offensive line wasn't blocking me on just one series, I'd say I'm good.
I've been lucky enough my young life to talk to
Tanner McKee.
Well, okay. So first off, Jamar Chase looked fine. The Eagles secondary has some major concerns. I mean, it is bad.
The Bengal defense is already in midseason form.
I know. Tanner, do you know what one of the headlines on a CBS article I read this morning? Tanner McKee is one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's why we love preseason.
Wild.
Overreaction.
But
people have been saying, though, watching him as a backup to Jalen Hurts, like he's got somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody will overpay for him in 5 years.
I don't know. Maybe in 5 years, but I think Howie Roseman understands like you're only as good as your backup quarterback, and that you definitely like it's so. I have to imagine as a GM, it's so relieving to have a good backup QB on your roster in the case that hey, you do get hurt. Which yours is yours Gardner this year?
Gardner Minshew. Yep.
I mean, that's a guy that look, is Gardner Minshew going to win the Super Bowl? No, but I'd be pretty confident for him to start a couple of games in the instance that Holmes goes down. Preseason. What I was going to say. Talking about what you're talking about, hard training camp. One of the best conversations I've ever had was with a guy named John Yurkovich, who was a former Jacksonville Jaguar and Green Bay Packer, and him and I were just talking privately about training camp one day, and he talked to me about losing your legs. He's like, you have to go to training camp and you have to work so hard that you just lose your legs. Your body has been sitting around too long. You need to just overtrain yourself to where you're just gone. And he's like, you don't overtrain to the point where you hurt, but you train to the point where it's like, man, I'm in a lot of pain. And then he goes, then it takes a couple of days to get your legs back. And then once you get your legs back, then you're ready to go for the season. And he always says, he goes, the guys who get injured during the season the most are the ones who don't train hard enough in training camp.
Great point.
Who lose they don't lose their legs. And then what happens? You lose your legs during the season, but when you lose your legs during the season, you don't have enough rest and the intensity is too high. And then you're going out, you're playing injured, and then you get hurt again. And so I think that lines up perfectly with what you're talking about with Andy Reid, with they have a hard training camp because I mean, the classic line is it's easier to get hurt when you're not going full speed than when you are going full speed. So should be, look, this is one of these training camps will have some interesting storylines. Look, what does Caleb need to do this preseason? It's literally on First Take right now on ESPN, right? And then I guarantee
complete a pass.
He had a good practice yesterday. Did you see his sidearm throw that he had to Colston Loveland? It was pretty sick.
It looked like the Iowa Mark Gronowski video. So it was edited, right?
Stop it. I can't. So many Iowa fans are getting.
But this is what happens in college football.
I know.
And good for the people that put those videos together because we're all jonesing for something. Like, listen, I got a full breakdown from one of our listeners. Dane Key is back at practice. And he was caught on, not caught, but he was on video. And somebody said, it looks like he's grimacing. He's got to have a serious injury. He's trying to get out there. And I was like, okay. Next. No, I mean,
but that Gronowski video has popped up so much on my Twitter feed. It's ridiculous.
Well, that arm strength against Big Ten cornerbacks is going to be kind of interesting. But did you see what Iowa put out yesterday?
No.
So they listened to the criticism of the Gronowski throw to the sidelines, and it took a long time to get there. And they then went and did deep passes yesterday.
You know how I feel about it.
So the next video that comes out from Nebraska might include a Dane Key on a fly pattern.
Or maybe it should be Dylan rolling right and throwing the same exact ball to like Roman Mangini on the sideline and him tiptoeing in. But Cleveland plays today, 6:00. That'll be the story of the weekend.
He's playing for another team.
Who is?
Shedeur. Shedeur has good tape today. And somebody at the end of training camp comes looking for a backup quarterback, and they inquire and they say, the Browns, you got too many quarterbacks. Remember, Deshaun Watson might come back.
Yeah, that's a great point.
They're not going to boot Deshaun Watson to the curb.
I think a team.
So he's playing for not only the Browns, but he's playing for 31 other teams that may at the end of training camp go, you know what? We're not so sure about our number 2 guy. Yeah. We don't have a solid number 3. What do you think about a trade?
I'll tell you someone right now who might be looking at this game tonight, Sean McVay. With Matthew Stafford, and they don't really know like what he's going to be able to do, if he's going to be able to start. He's expected to.
Isn't Jimmy G the backup with the Rams now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you need a backup to the backup, right?
Boy, Devontae Adams must be just.
Oh yeah. Look at
Stafford, you need to get healthy.
That guy.
I got away from him in Oakland or in Vegas.
Whoever told Devontae Adams it was a good idea to follow Derek Carr to Oakland should probably never give out advice ever again. Well, continue to talk about quarterbacks. And I'm going to throw out an idea, Gary, in this next segment here when we get to break, that I don't know if it'll get you fully husked, but is going to get a lot of people potentially fully husked.
All right.
And it has to do with something that went on in Austin, Texas yesterday. So don't go anywhere for that. We also got Mike Schaefer coming on at 9 o'clock and Matt Verszall coming on at 9:20 here on a Friday football fiesta with Gary and Matt. Oh, okay.
Are you just staring at me?
Yeah. Well, you told me you had an email.
Oh
to
yeah,
read.
I'm gonna email.
Well,
you gotta bring the show back.
I thought you were gonna bring the show back to read it.
I'm just a fill-in co-host.
Real quick, because I didn't do my job as the fill-in number one. Today's lineup is powered by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll have Mike Schaefer on at 9:00 as always, and the Matt Verszall over at 9:20. And if you want to join in and call us at the Prairie Flower Casino hotline, 402-951-1620 is the number. And then, Gary, you will read an email from the Equitable Bank inbox where they take banking personal.
But first, let me tell you that if you go to our website, 1620thezone.com right now, you can enter to win 2 season passes. I love this place.
Sure.
And they're a great partner here at NRG Media. And they are home to a lot of you. But by mentioning this, it basically means the summer is almost over. But then in the fall, you could spend all your time at Vallis. You can enter to win 2 season passes. You got to go to our website, 1620thezone.com, 2 2025 Vallis Pumpkin Patch season passes.
That sounds incredible. I haven't been to a pumpkin patch.
You not been to Vallis?
No, I should. I should go to. I went to the Bellevue Berry Farm.
Well,
yeah, you got to get.
This is when Vallis will be packed, just absolutely packed. Saturday, September 28th.
Hopefully, I'll have a little lady.
Or the Saturday after the Minnesota game. The Minnesota game being on a Friday night. So football weekends that do not include a Saturday around here, Vallis will be packed.
I think I'll just.
But you could go there on us. 2 season passes, 1620zone.com.
I think I'll just put on my Hinge looking to take somebody to a pumpkin patch. I feel like that might be an effective line.
We apologize this morning getting a lot of people telling us that our app is not working.
Yeah, we're working.
The app
on
is
it.
down. The YouTube is up.
Yes.
Yeah, YouTube is fine. Everything
else is screwed.
Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook should be good.
Right,
yeah.
This is an email into the Equitable Bank inbox. We're working on it.
We're
in progress.
This is Friday. You got to understand, nobody works around here on Friday. All right. This is from a listener. Our discussion about the stadium. He goes, I know construction, the cost of that is probably going to go up by the month. Tariffs are going to affect the prices.
Mm-hmm.
They will probably not be guaranteed. That project and the prices will go up as it's being built. It's $450 million to now, before it's all said and done, would probably be $1 billion. If they followed through on most of the key stuff that was in the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know how much stuff has been whittled down or has been tweaked a bit. Oh, I don't think they've added anything.
You don't think they've added anything?
The only maybe the thing they've added is more premium seating on the West Stadium, but not like, hey, we were going to do a gigantic Husker Vision. Let's do one that's even bigger that they can see in Brookings.
The one thing is the reason why I just kind of threw out there why I would be surprised if nothing was added is just because when the price goes up, right? You would. I get my
I think the price of
everything
construction
else
materials.
I know, but
like
it's gonna
steel.
it might even double. It's crazy.
That said, they're probably looking at the cost of renovation, asking why not build a new stadium? They tore down Rosenblatt and Yankee Stadium. They can tear down Memorial. If they could, so what was this yesterday? We were talking about this. If they had a place
to displace the team.
you could do this. You would have to commit to Memorial Stadium being in a different location and continue to use Memorial Stadium until your new one was open and then tear that down. But I think the plan would be to keep the same location but different stadium, which means you'd have to be relocated for a minimum of 2 years. If you did, hey, we're building over here, and then when that's done, we're going to tear down Memorial Stadium, you could get away with that. But I don't know that would be the plan, but the emailer is right. If you had the ability where you did not have to relocate, you could maybe justify it. This whole project should have been done a long time ago. Nebraska seems to, and the end result always looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Like the football facility was a long time coming. That took forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's finished, it's the Taj Mahal. So it takes a while to get there, and it always seems like it's late, but it finishes and you go, oh yeah.
It's great.
All of this stuff about the stadium, because now we're over 100 years old, should have been done earlier. But then you had the football facility that was priority. And then you have some changing of the guard. The landscape of college athletics changes. Prices change. People get involved. And we're still dragging our feet here of when this is going to get started. How are you going to appease all those lifetime ticket holders that have had seats for 50 years? Well, some of them are finding out that the grandfather clause of not having a donation attached to your ticket price, for some of those, it's changing. But this last part is where the next wave of Nebraska football with Memorial Stadium is happening. Is Memorial ever going to resemble Penn State, where everyone is waving a flag and yelling? Too many old people in the stadium. There, I said it. I've been told, and this was about 4 or 5 years ago, so maybe they've done a study since then. The average age of Memorial Stadium is 58 years old.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it would be younger. I didn't think it would be in the 40s or anything like that.
Now, this was pre-COVID
okay.
that I was told this number. So we're looking at 2018, 2019. The season ticket holders, the average age is 58.
I think that Memorial Stadium, when it needs to, right, in the big moments when you need it, I don't think you can make the argument it's too old. Right? Like,
no.
Like in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the crowd noise, in terms of how loud they are, how they affect the game. When it needs, when you're on a third down, or it's a big drive, or the entire Colorado game where you just need to win that game, period. I don't think you can question anything about the atmosphere.
They're not going to boot out the longtime season ticket holders and the older fans, okay? Because some of those older fans are actually louder than the younger fans.
I agree.
And not all older fans tell you to sit down when you're standing up, but some do, and we'll deal with them in the appropriate time.
Yes.
But the thing about the stadium is, if you look at the amenities that are being discussed, who do they appeal to? Your kind of crowd. Younger crowd that has been going to professional venues, which Memorial Stadium has become. And so they're used to the drink rails.
Yeah.
They're used to the party areas. They're used to larger screens and screens everywhere and all this access to scores and everything else that goes along ribbon boards. So, and they're also now used to, if I want to sit in luxury, I have the means. I know that it comes with a price, but I want to be comfortable in the stadium instead of, oh man, I'll just go to the stadium. It doesn't matter. So all of the ideas are geared towards a younger fan base. And that's the balance of not ticking off your older fan base that has been loyal to you almost to a fault, and then welcoming in the new crowd, because at the end of the day, the next wave is what's going to keep Nebraska athletics alive, because they have grown up with, we got to pay to play. Where the older fan is like, oh, I thought that was illegal. Why don't we just continue to give out county scholarships around here, or bring the boys over to the house and we'll do their laundry and feed them on Sunday, and then we'll put a couple of $1,000s in their laundry bag and send them back to the dorm.
Oh, it just slipped in there. I guess the filter was holding that. I think the things that demographic of people who are majorly in the stadium, there are things that they grew up with, that they came along with in stadiums that were luxuries to them, that are now standard to us. If that makes sense. Like it was a luxury at some point to have a video board, to have a scoreboard, to have a ribbon board, to have, the Lexus Club, and to have the 1914 Club, and to have areas where, oh, I'm hot, I'm just going to pop in here because there's air conditioning and I'm going to cool off a little bit. Or, hey, there's this area where they have all these misters, and if you just go to the mister, you can, there are just things that I couldn't imagine being in a stadium that doesn't have some of those things. And I'm going to be honest with you, Memorial Stadium doesn't have some of those things that I am very used to having in stadiums that I grew up in.
When I came back from Saturday, you are right, and you are the kind of, you're on the edge of the demographic that they are looking for.
I'm right there.
Is Memorial Stadium is transitioning into being a professional venue.
Yeah.
The prices are a little bit higher. Alcohol is available now. It's how soon do you accept that? Because it's no longer mom and pop where you go up to the concession stand and you look at the board. The board is now a digital board. The hell, the prices could change by the quarter. It's not where you took the little letters and you slid them in, or in Sharpie it's written up there, hot dog, $4. it's a professional sports venue that is the home to a Fortune 500 company. Nebraska Athletics is a professional organization. It still is college, but it has to adhere to a pro model to survive. And that pro model will allow Nebraska to be competitive in the sport of football, where they have to live in the top 5 of NIL in the Big Ten to survive. And I think they will be able to do it with the plans, but they have to get everybody on board. That's what we got to do to survive these days. Things are different. Sorry, 63-year-old Husker fan, but trust me, in the end, you're going to get what you want, and that is great football and maybe a chance to win a championship before the end of your lifetime.
So also, too, like the good things that are luxuries to those fans that would be standard to fans that are my age, also the bad things are standard to me and not not standard to you, because you bring up the beer, right? I've never been in a stadium where the beer isn't $12, where it isn't super expensive or anything like that, where people now have to adjust to that and rightfully get bad about it. But I know we have to get to break here because
one other thing.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, all of this stuff, whether you're an older fan or a younger fan, the one thing with Memorial Stadium is over 100 years old. Yeah. It is a special place. There are very few places like that in the country in the fall when it is full. And there is history, and there are so many passionate people that love that stadium and have had memories for a lifetime, that love that football team. And whether you're a younger fan, older fan, and they're going to do amenities that appeal to you, at the end of the day, that's a tough stadium to watch a football game. And it has nothing to do with what's going on in the field. It's a tough place to sit and watch a football game. So that's another part of the rollout, is it makes it much more comfortable for a fan to enjoy 4 quarters of football where the side of their legs are not pinched in. Yeah. Their knees don't have bruises on it because of the seats in front of you, the old the chair back, which you could buy and put up, or that, you know what, your right buttock is numb because it didn't get a plank to sit on. It's all about comfortability and luxury, and they have to find a way to combine that as it transitions into the new age of venues and the model. And I think Nebraska will find a way to do it. Just might be tougher around here because we're not always open to change when it comes to Nebraska football.
I'm look, if you want to answer this question, that's fine. I don't want to totally pin it on you. Maybe we do it as a poll question, but to all of those points, I wonder what the temperature would be like if we just asked the question, how would you feel if Nebraska said, you know what, screw it, we're not going to do $1 billion renovation. We're just going to build a new stadium for $2 billion.
More people than you would think would be on board.
I really do think that it would be damn near close to 50-50. And I would go ahead and say that I wouldn't be shocked if it was like 51-49 people wanting, because you are always going to have those people who are going to be like, man, it's tradition and man, it's Memorial and so many great things have happened. And how can you get rid of that? But to the younger fan and to the fan that they're trying to cater to, it's also like, man, I would like a dome, or I would like.
No, never.
But I'm just
never.
I'm just
dome.
I'm just bringing something.
Only Oma Dome, no Memorial Dome.
But I'm just saying, there are a lot of people who would love to have a lot of the amenities that Jerry's World has and Allegiant Stadium
just
has.
Think about
that the
all
new Bears
of the sports architectural firms that have a connection to Nebraska, where they were founded here in Nebraska, whether they have key people that are connected to Nebraska. While they're building all these new stadiums around the country, I would love to see somebody just in their free time design what they think what a new Memorial Stadium would look like.
I think it, and I think that would be a way for people to kind of be like, all right, we want to shift there. Hey, we're shifting into the last hour of the show, the last hour of the week, where we got Mike Schaefer coming up at 9:00, Matt Verszall at 9:20, and then we'll finish out and send you in to preseason NFL weekend. You've been listening to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone. We begin this hour with our leadoff hitter, which is brought to you by the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. Mr. Mike Schaefer is in the building. Mike, how you doing, man?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm incredible. I just want to let you know, Gary is in today, because typically when you hear my voice first, it's because Gary isn't in. He isn't. He's just filling in for himself.
Good morning, Mike.
Oh, wow. You are a fill-in host for yourself that allows Matt to sit in the big chair?
Yes.
This is we called this Chaos Friday. It's not a football Friday. It's Anarchy Friday. We've talked about a lot of different things, including a Bears parody song, which, by the way, before we get to anything about Nebraska, because there's a lot to get to about the football team, I have to ask you about the NFC North and the fact that your quarterback will be playing tomorrow in the first preseason game at 3:00 against the Houston Texans. Are you worried? Do you have PTSD from what happened last year when he shined for a quarter and a half and then ended his season?
No PTSD. I'm not particularly caring one way or another how the preseason stuff goes for him, particularly because there won't be Justin Jefferson, and then they won't have Jordan Addison for the first 3 weeks of the season. So the offense, they have to figure a few things out. But I don't know what to make of J.J. McCarthy. I want to be excited about the Viking season in general. They have a loaded roster, but they don't have the quarterback piece figured out. So it's pretty much like every story for every season of Vikings history. So, we'll see how things kind of play out. If it's like true Minnesota Vikings lore, something will happen to J.J. McCarthy. Sam Howell will step in and have a career year, and we'll get to have a Howell versus McCarthy debate again in 2026.
Hey, did you ever watch when ESPN had a college football red zone? It was called Goal Line. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, it was. They used to also have something that would start at 2:30 in the afternoon on ESPN2 on Saturdays, where they would just do live look-in of different games. I don't know if that was called Goal Line or what. If it was just like a scoreboard show or what it was, but they've done stuff that was similar to Red Zone. It just wasn't packaged and marketed the same way.
So Learfield does a radio version of the Red Zone, and it's fantastic, but they also own a lot of the rights to the key games. So when Goodell brought this up the other day, and our whole life becomes a red zone, I thought, there's no way if you're CBS, Fox, or NBC that you're going to let ESPN give a live look at your games, are you?
I wouldn't think so. I think it would probably just be stuck to ESPN properties. I also, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think there will be as much fascination with college red zone because it's not related to the thing that most people care about it for in the NFL.
Fantasy?
I just don't, I don't know. And it's not that, with YouTube, you can have 4 games on at once for college football, and really all of the sports. But that's fantastic because you can kind of track things that way. I just don't know if I need a live look-in at San Jose State and Nevada in the third quarter because San Jose State's on the 17-yard line. It's just not I don't know that I'm the audience for it, so we'll start with that. But I also am questioning, is there that big of an audience for it? There's the people that are the junkies, but they're probably going to have the quad box going in.
Well, Mike, I feel like people who are clamoring for the college football red zone don't fully understand how the NFL red zone works, because in the NFL, in a given Sunday, you have at most 14 games going on, right? And in the noon hour, you only have 8 to 9 games going on, and they're all going to be fairly competitive. And so you have an idea of all right, here's where we can tune in, here's where we can tune out. You have a plan. Scott Hansen knows what games he has to prep for and what they're going to push. If you're doing a college football game day, there are way too many games to prep for. And there are so many that you don't know if they're going to be competitive. You don't know if you're going to do live look-ins. I just don't think it's there's just way too many games and way too many storylines. And you just don't have the college football in general just doesn't have close enough games consistently throughout the entirety of the country to be all right, we're going to push this great content.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to end up just being an ESPN studio scoreboard looking show. I think they'll the focus will be on the SEC and the stuff going on there, and then the things that are on ESPN's various properties throughout the day, and and then the conferences that they have time with. So it's I can't, like Gary said, I can't imagine if Notre Dame is playing on NBC and it's a big game against Clemson or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be on NBC or what have you, that we're going to get like this live look in, because I don't know that NBC is going to be okay with it. I don't know that ESPN actually wants to do that. And I think anyone that's really that interested already is going to have that like the left corner of their quad box with everything else that's happening at 6 o'clock on a Saturday.
Boy, whoever would host that show, if it ever came to fruition, I mean, you'd have a seizure trying to handle all college football. But I think it would help with the knowledge of college football. I know more about the NFL rosters due to Red Zone, but there is the fantasy aspect, there is the gambling aspect. But I just, because of the rights fees have changed and different properties are elsewhere, I just don't see it happening. So 20 days.
I'm going to say something that's relatively unpopular.
Again,
I don't care for Red Zone. Like, I'd rather have just the ability to have the 4 games going on and I'm watching them, throughout wherever they are on the field. Like, Red Zone doesn't do that much for me personally. Like, and then there's other people who that's how they want to watch the NFL. They don't want to watch it any other way. Like, I would rather have 4 games going at once, but I'm also insane and have multiple televisions, so I can technically have like 8 games going on and basically have the entire noon slate covered and everything else. So I'm probably just not, again, the market for some of these things.
I don't think you're fully off, but I think the witching hour is what brings everybody back. I do agree though, the first 3 quarters, like there have been slates where it's like, man, this wasn't really good, a good Red Zone day. I don't think you're as unpopular as you might think you are.
Yeah, I think you're very popular. Let me ask you. So 20 days from now is game number 1. And really about 2 weeks from now, Nebraska would like to have all of the starters solidified, because then they start to go into game week mode. If we get to 2 weeks from today and one of the tackle spots is about as even as it can be between Elijah Pritchett and Gunnar Gatula, who starts?
Start them both. Put one at right tackle. I think those are your 2 best tackles. I mean, with all the respect to Teddy Prohaska and everything that he's gone through, Turner Corcoran and everything he's gone through, Tyler Knack and his ability to try to seize the moment here with an opportunity to win the right tackle job. If Pritchett and Gatula are your 2 left tackles and you can't separate them, pick one at left, put the other one at right. Like I think those are your 2 best offensive linemen. I've said that I think now a couple times on this show. Like, that's how it would divide out for me. Obviously, I'm not the one that makes that decision, and I don't have all the information, but I think that's what's going to happen ultimately. So it's just sort of why not just cut to the chase and get there? And I guess the one thing is, if you're concerned you don't have a backup left tackle, that's not a big deal either, because if something happens to your left tackle, you slide in Gatula. Let's say it's Pritchett at left and Gatula at right. Pritchett sprains an ankle. Slide in Gatula at left, and you put in Prohaska at right. Like, I mean, I just don't think it has to be that difficult. In some ways, it feels like maybe this is what they're trying to do here, but they just really want to see which one's the best for them at left, and then the last half of fall camp, the other guy's going to be working at right. We'll see if that's how it plays out.
I know that a lot of people have been talking about the defensive line, and rightfully so. And I think it's been great from the defensive coaching staff that they've acknowledged that, hey, we know and we don't care. But when it comes to defense, I do think, there could be some other issues that you might look at on that side of the ball. And because you've lost so much from one year to the next and you got a new defensive coordinator. Do you think that there's maybe something that you're concerned about on the defense that you don't think is being talked enough, something that you've seen that you've been thinking about that may be exclusive to you and you want to hammer home?
I think that I think the defense as a whole, it's fair to have questions at every level. Like, I don't know that there's anything that you look at with Nebraska defensively and you're like, okay, well, no matter what, it's going to be X. Because I don't think that's necessarily true. They have a lot of experienced defensive backs, and I think they feel pretty good about what that group is. But there's still question marks there. There's still, it's fair to wonder, is Deshaun Singleton going to have issues against play action? Can Nebraska play in coverage down the field against, fast wide receivers? Can they make plays on the ball when they have opportunities to? What does Malcolm Hartzog look like as a nickelback? Are teams going to be able to expose that at all? So I think it's fair that you'd have questions there at the linebacker level. I mean, can Marquise Watson-Trent make the jump from the Sun Belt? Is Wright going to be able to stay healthy for you for 12 games? And if you want to play more than that, 13, 14 games, however many, what is Deshaun McCullough actually? Like, I think that's a huge question about this defense, because you hear everything from pass rusher to he's going to play a rover position to he could be a nickelback because that's what he played at Oklahoma. So I think, there's a lot of focus on the defensive line because it's a lot of names we don't know or haven't seen a lot of, or they haven't had that many reps, and the production isn't necessarily there. So I think it's fair to have questions across the defense. And, oh, by the way, John Butler's kind of in this role, and we acknowledge he has some experience, but we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know what it looks like when Nebraska needs to get a critical stop. And does he dial up pressure? Does he fall back into a base defense? Is it a combination of both? So I think, every part of Nebraska's defense is a little bit under the microscope as we get into this regular season. And I think the way it's going to play out is they're going to need a few weeks to sort of figure out who they are and what they do well defensively.
Yeah, that's my hesitancy.
How they can try to dictate terms.
Yeah, that's my hesitancy. I mean, it shows you the power of, Matt Rhule has never had a bad defense, which is true, but I'm still a little bit, I need to see a couple of more things. All right, let me ask you. I'm going to walk you through a scenario here. Do you remember driver's ed? How was your driver's ed experience?
It was pretty good. I didn't go through the school. There was a private driver's ed teacher in town that offered classes.
But what did you want to do right away? You probably wanted to get out on the interstate and rev that driver's ed car up to like 75, right?
I don't know if that was like as big of a deal to me at that point. I mean, I don't know.
Do not say I wanted to learn how to parallel park. Okay.
That I basically wanted to learn how to do that, so I never had to think about it.
But when you're in driver's ed, we all I want to be on the interstate right away, and I want to throw the hammer down. And our driver's ed teacher was like, "No, we're going to drive in this neighborhood, and we're going to learn to turn left with our turn signal, turn right." When I listen to Dana talk about Dylan, we have the car that can go 75, but we want to learn some of the basics and be able to do some of the smaller stuff well before we let them drive 75. So with that said, I'm going to give you 4 stat areas which you think are the most important to you to judge Dylan's year. Completion percentage, touchdowns, interceptions, yards per attempt, yards per completion. Which of those numbers will you look at closer this season to judge Dylan?
Well, I think the one that is going to stand out the most to me is still going to be touchdowns to interceptions, because it tells 2 different stories there. How explosive your offense is, because if you are throwing for 25 touchdowns, I also have to assume you're running for at least a handful too, so you're putting up points. And then in addition to that, if the interception numbers recede quite a bit, it means you're protecting the ball, so you're putting your team in a better situation, because I'm not assuming Nebraska just has a weird year with 14 fumbles or something like that. So I think because I can get the most information out of that one statistic, because it would work in 2 different ways, that one stands out. Otherwise, yards per attempt is a big one for me. I mean, that's a stat that sort of tells how effective your offense is in terms of getting yards. And then yards aren't always points, but yards in theory lead to points. So if Dylan has a high yards per attempt number, it means Nebraska is having explosive plays. If Nebraska is having explosive plays, I assume they have a chance to score pretty regularly. So those are the 2 that stand out. I mean, I think completion percentage is last, but it's also the thing I'm least worried about with Dylan. I think he's pretty accurate passer. The accuracy issues that he had last year were going down the field. So again, that correlates with yards per attempt and then also yards per completion. Because if yards per completion is like 6.6, Nebraska's throwing a lot of horizontal passes. So they're all valuable, but the touchdown to interception is definitely where I would go number one.
Mike Schaefer of Huskers 24/7. Yesterday, Gary and I were talking about Marlon Lucky in his 2007 season, where he set the Nebraska school record for receptions in a year with 75. I'll give you an over-under here. Emmett Johnson, 51.5 receptions this season. You take the over or the under?
Well, it assumes health if you're taking the overs, and it also assumes career year.
Mm-hmm.
And those are tough things to do if you're, if you were actually putting money towards this. I think that's a good number. I would lean over.
Mm-hmm.
I would lean over. I think like 4.5 receptions per game, assuming health for 12 games. I mean, what is that? Like 54 right there.
Yeah, it's 54.
So yeah, I think I would take the over there. If I have to pick a side on that, I'm leaning over.
Hey, we know he's not injured, but it's the second straight day on this show where we've had a guest that talk about Emmett Johnson, preface it by saying he's got to stay healthy, or if he stays healthy. Is that a concern that Emmett now in that role will be banged up and won't make all 12 games, you think?
Well, I think the thing that we have to remember of Emmett Johnson is he's never had to be the guy for 12 games. He's never been in a situation where, his usage was so high at the beginning of the year that he also has to sustain it at the end of it. Like, that's the thing about the way that Nebraska has utilized running backs these past couple of years. Guys have been fresh because they haven't had someone go from start to finish, wire to wire. I mean, Dante Dowdell, I guess, if you would, but he saw his production cut into with the rise of Emmett Johnson, particularly in the last 3 regular season games. We saw Emmett Johnson do this at the end of the season in 2023, where I think he had a bunch of carries against Iowa and some of these other schools, but he didn't have that at the beginning of the year. So it's a very different thing. It's easy to be like, okay, this is what Emmett's touches were like at the end of the last season. It's easy to do math on that, make it seem like this is what it should be. It's a lot harder to do in practice. Like, a guy who hasn't been hit as many times is going to be fresher. So what happens when he's getting 25 touches a game? And I don't think that's what the number is going to be right away in week 1. And he gets he has that against Houston Baptist or whoever they're playing, Houston Christian. I don't know why I'll never get that right. It's just a very different thing. Like, we go back to Rex Burkhead and Amir Abdullah, and one of the things we forget about what made those guys special, they handled massive workloads and had to do it knowing that they also had to be healthy to try to get through the entirety of a year. Like, that's a very different mental stressor than being the guy who came from the back of the pack that, it looked good at the end of the last 2 seasons, but you didn't have as much to do in those first 6 games. Obviously, it wasn't his choice. He wants every carry he can get. But sustaining that is going to be big on the training staff. It was going to be big on Corey Campbell to get him in the right physical shape for this upcoming season. It's going to be big on Emmett Johnson to determine, hey, can I get an extra 3 yards putting my head forward here? Or do I need to step out of bounds? Do I have to protect my body? But these are real conversations we don't think about because we just saw Emmett Johnson emerge in the final 8 games or the final 6 games or whatever it is. 12 games is a lot for a running back. And if you're getting a bunch of touches and you haven't had to do that since high school, you have to learn how to play through the nagging pain and the nagging injuries and all of that. And we just haven't seen a running back have to do that in a while.
All incredible points, Mike. A week from today, we will talk to you again about some similar things, some different things. And in that case, we'll be 8 days away from the start of the college football season. And 13 days away from being in Arrowhead Stadium. We are almost there, my friend.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. There's still a lot left to learn, but we're inching forward. I feel like this fall camp is flying, but I also have a lot of other things going on in my own life at the same time. So that might be that too.
We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Mike Schaefer of Huskers 24/7. See you.
See you guys.
That was Mike. I mean, I think that is kind of the case in point when it comes down to Emmett Johnson is like, man, he was so incredible in the last 4 games of the season, but like, you could call him the most important player on the team or the second most important player on the team. But the fact is that he really just hasn't put it together for a full season yet. And that's kind of a scary place to be sometimes.
That's the theme of a lot of guys on this roster.
I mean, the amount of players on this team that are so talented that you think that could break out and be dudes that can go and win you games that you haven't had in the past is higher than it's been.
Mm-hmm.
But also the guys who just haven't played football is too.
Well, it's the growth of turning over where you are a little bit older and guys graduate, and that's how it's supposed to work. Is the next guy is up and he's got at least a little tread on the tires, but doesn't have a whole new set of tires.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking to someone who knows a lot about that and the inner workings of how that works. Matt Verszall coming up next year on Gary and Matt. It's only right that we have a guest named Matt on the one day of the year that this show turns into Matt and Gary, not Gary and Matt. We welcome in former Husker Matt Verszall. Matt, how you doing, my man?
Good, boys. How you doing?
Doing great.
Doing well, thank you.
I have to warn you beforehand. Gary is filling in for himself today, and so I have been placed in the big chair leading the show for one day only. So I don't want you to think that it's only going to be me and you doing the interview.
Just one day.
Just one day. Just one day. I just got a text last night, and it was Gary going, "You're running the show tomorrow. Good luck." So
you're fine. You're fine. Wait till they have you do it all by yourself.
Yeah, that'll probably happen in the next week or two. Hey, I was watching a press conference the other day, and I don't know if maybe this is like music to your ears, but I thought of you immediately when I heard a Husker football player say something. It was Riley Van Poppel was talking about how good the offensive line has been during camp and how he was almost thankful and saying, like, look, it is so great to practice with an offensive line that's playing as well as they are. Iron sharpens iron. And he mentioned it a couple times, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only one to mention that. As a former offensive lineman, did you kind of get that? I know you're on different sides of the ball, but did your O-line room ever have that relationship with the D-line where it's like, man, it's great when they're great and it's great when we're great because we just get each other better?
Yeah, but I mean that's that's the fundamentals of athletics. Like if you're the best of the best and there's nobody that challenges you ever, you're in the wrong place. You got to get somewhere where everybody is as good or as you're perceived to be and go be great. Like when the game is like Tuesday and Wednesday practice and the Saturday is the reward. There are guys that'll tell you, and they'll try to be modest and they'll try to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
They had better games on Tuesday and Wednesday than we did on Saturday.
I want to go back to something last night because this is and you're a busy guy, and so you're probably not privy to this.
Is it the Cubs' lack of pitching? Lack of making any moves to get any pitching at all? Is it that?
Or hitting?
Yeah. But at least Cade Horton looks good since the All-Star break.
Didn't work.
Yeah. Hey, Cade Horton looks good since the All-Star break. He hasn't given up a run.
Yeah. Too bad they play every day.
Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, so last night, and Anthony Richardson got hurt with the Colts, and he got blitzed. It looks like it's typical first day install of pass protection against pressure with an empty backfield. So there's a heck of a discussion going on. A lot of former offensive linemen in the NFL are chiming in and just chopping down, just fans that don't know what they're talking about. So it's basically Jeff and Mitch Schwartz and Chase Daniel. Yep. One thing I don't know. So there's a blitz. The running back comes out of the backfield, runs right by the blitzer. There's no such thing as a running back just chips free rushers on their own, right? Because they have a job, especially if they're the hot option to get out there, correct?
If they're the check down, the outlet, the whatever in empty. Now, when you're in empty, and I learned this early from Twig. He said, I don't care if they got one back or no backs, we're bringing one more than they have.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because now I make the quarterback have to make a decision and get the ball out of his hand. So this is an AR problem. Like you have to be able to get to the line of scrimmage and do math. And if I got 5 to block and they're bringing 6, even if it's just a look of they're bringing 6, I have to get rid of the ball immediately. Like I have to have the ball gone. Now there will be times when the running back is on like a delayed route, where literally the bailout option.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you'll see them chip. Like, but it's intent. Like if their first rule of the play is you run this route, they're not gonna stop that route and go back in like, oh, I better go bump that guy so he doesn't kill my quarterback. It's like, okay, here's my responsibility in this play. I'm chipped to flat. So I got to chip this guy first, then I got to get out to the flats and make myself available. So he's not going to break stride to go. It's a quarterback problem. And Indy fans are nervous to say that it's a quarterback problem, but that quarterback has to see that blitz and he has to get rid of the ball.
Gary and I were talking about his favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the harder training camp that they have, heading into the season. And obviously, you like, no one's advocating for a soft training camp, right? But in your opinion, how important is it to have maybe a more amplified training camp, to have a harder training camp? And how do you balance, in your opinion, the risks that you might have when you're doing that in terms of injury?
Okay, so when I'll just put this into real life because you're pretty young.
Yes.
When you prep for a show, if you half-ass your prep and you go to a show, is that a good show?
No, God, no.
But when you put your full amount, your full heart, your full effort into your prep for your show, does your show go really well?
Yeah.
This ain't rocket science, man. We ain't building bombs. Like a violent game played by violent people. And if you're worried that you're going to go into some drill and you're going to get hurt, then you're playing the wrong game. And freak things are going to happen. But guess what? You could get hit by a car, too. Like, you could have a psycho fan snipe you driving down the street. You can't live life with the thought of, what if I go do that and I get hurt? Just like you can't prep for a show, like, I'm going to kind of prep today.
Sure.
You got to go give that game everything you can give it, or it will take it all away. I'll tell you what, more likely than not, when you get hurt, I guess I'll put it this way, like 20-plus year career of coaching high school offensive line, defensive line sometimes, I think I had 0 ACL injuries. So now that's not a major deal, but the reason why is I always told my guys, if you are standing by a pile, you are a victim. Like, you need to keep yourself moving around piles at all times, because you don't know what kid's going to come in there and try to be a hero and go low or roll a pile over. I was like, if you keep your feet moving around a pile and go as hard as you can and try to shove that pile, you decrease your odds of getting hurt 70%. But you always stay active around piles. You have to learn how to be physical, and the more physical you can make practice, the easier that the game becomes.
Dylan's transformation in year 2, better pre-snap, post-snap, or better across the board when it comes to recognition?
I don't know 100% because I haven't really seen him outside of that one spring practice. And I think we'll know the answer to all of your questions by how quickly he gets rid of the ball if it is the passing play. I think at times last year, there's a stat out there, Nebraska's offensive line was catching quite a bit of hell, but the average snap to throw time, like last year, was almost 5 seconds.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't work. Like, that doesn't fly at any level. Even the little guys and gals playing flag football, they are diagnosed and gone in milliseconds. So we'll know how much he comprehends because they all fall into each other, right? If he's getting rid of the ball quickly, he's made his pre-snap read, he's good. So that's what I'm most excited to see from him is how quick the ball's released, because the Holgerson's offense doesn't want to hold it a whole bunch. They want to get rid of it. Like, it's quick and get it to the athlete and let the athlete go. So excited to see it, and the countdown clock is moving down, which is awesome.
So they want to do 3.5 seconds. So we go from 5 to 3.5. Doable?
You better get that baby down to 2.
Ooh. That's Verz, that's quick.
1/1002.
And that's
could I get you to 3?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
2.5.
Hey, and Gary, you might have to correct me here, but
if you want to set low ceiling, then great. Like, I that's where I would be. Like,
so,
that's what I would. Here's the deal: if I stress to him, I want the ball gone in 2 seconds, and it gets gone in 2.8. I'm faster than 3.5, but I still haven't got him to the goal I want him to. Right?
Okay.
Psychology, like, hey, You were 5 last year. Could you do 4.85 this year? That'd be super. We'd show improvement. Everybody'd be stoked. No. 2.5. Cut it in half. Then when I'm at 2.9, 2.8, I'm like, oh, man, it's better, but we're still not to our goal.
Matt, we'll get you out of here on this. I don't think we've really talked to anybody else about this. I'm pretty sure, and Gary, it's 9 fully padded practices that they're going to have heading into the season. I mean, is that enough? And what's your reaction to that?
To tie back into your previous question, like you only got 9 of them. You better make them things physical because the game won't wait for you. The game is going to happen. It's going to be played physically. So, it's unfortunate that we are where we are with all of this. Back in the covered wagon days, we were just laughing about this, me and some guys the other day, but our Shrine Bowl camp back then was 3 weeks. The north side had 2-a-days, the south side had 3-a-days, so I feel bad for those guys. Then we had a couple of days off, then we came into freshman camp. We had 2-a-days, just freshmen. And then we had 2 weeks of varsity 2-a-days. So we had been a month and a half of 2-a-days. So they were padded and they were fun and all that stuff. But when the older guys got in there, we were hardened in stone, like we were ready to roll. So it was. I think the more you can practice a physical game physically, the better you'll be. But inmates run the asylum a little bit these days. You don't want anybody to get tired or. You don't want that to happen. So it is what it is, and you figure out how to beat it and do the best you can.
Matt, thank you as always. We'll talk to you next week. We'll only be 13 days away from the kickoff of the season. Thanks, my man.
You bet. Good work. Good luck the rest of the day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Wow, that meant a lot. Good work. I think he was talking to me.
He was talking to you.
I'll take that, man. That's a bit. That's 8 months. That was my first compliment for Matt Verszall. I don't think he'll give me one for the rest of the time I'm back here.
No, he will. He will.
Great man. I love
good recognition is good.
Iron sharpens iron.
I've heard that before.
This is now the 3rd week in a row too that he's acknowledged how young I am and he tries to teach me things, which I do. I do learn a lot of things from Matt. That's the one thing. When we talk to Matt Verszall, I actively do get smarter about how the things what things go on in the locker.
So quick Verz story. Before he moved into his new location of Pisons, he was in the little strip mall next door, just a couple of feet from where they are now. Yeah. But he had one wall, just a blank white wall. And he has this at the current location. But first time I went into his takeout only, just started drawing up plays on the wall. Yeah.
How pissed did he get?
No. He wasn't. He was like showing stuff.
Oh, so he was there. He was
so,
drawing
a lot
plays.
Of his former teammates come in there.
That's awesome.
You'd have guys that would, like him and Damon would draw up plays on the wall in the old Pisons.
It wasn't it a Dane Lanning and Kenny Dillingham would play Don't Drop the Pen, which is like basically they would keep drawing plays and they would keep countering each other over and over again until like someone dropped and then like you lost. If you're like, oh, I can't counter that anymore. That'd be great. Pisons football place. That's what we'll label it as. Hey, are we going to talk about football in the last segment in a Football Friday Fiesta? Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll talk a little college basketball. Who's going to know? You got to tune in here as we have the last segment of the weekend here on Matt and Gary. Oh.
Me?
This song's been ruined for me.
Whoa.
Why?
How's it been ruined for you?
Can you guess what movie this song was in that was so sad that has just now every time I hear it, I think about it?
You've told this story before. Yes.
It's in one of my favorite movies.
Is it Iron Claw?
Oh, I guess it is an Iron Claw. Now that you mention
It is one. It's just one of those things where that movie
right.
is so sad,
It really
and
is.
this song, "Tom Sawyer" by Rush, is such an integral part of that movie that now I hear it, I think of that movie, and I'm like, damn it! I used to be a brother too. We'll be your brother, Dad. Like, come on. Like, how do you not?
That movie's just gut punch after gut punch.
I told you that we'd be talking a little college basketball here in the 3.5 minutes we have before we go to the crossover and the Connor Happer show. Babatunde Olatundu, dang it, Babatunde Oladatun. That's a name you need to know. Okay, Babatunde Oladatun.
You cut out there. What'd you say?
Babatunde Oladatun.
Exactly.
He is the number one.
Shane.
He is the number one high school basketball recruit of 2027.
Is he going to Texas Tech?
He is reclassifying
to go to Texas Tech or BYU?
To the class of 2026.
Okay.
Arkansas, BYU are teams that are on the list along with Duke. So, yeah, I was looking for a Texas Tech tie-in.
But BYU is taking care of this one.
BYU is going to get this guy, just like they got AJ Dybanska. And I think we'll do. I know I said his last name wrong. How do I say
Smith?
It? AJ what? How do I say? I know you know how to say it. You got to help me here.
Oh, from BYU?
Yeah.
No, because I butchered that name. So I always call him AJ. If you haven't caught on, Dybanansu.
What? I think it's Dybansa.
It's close enough.
I'm trying to get the full...
You want a little nugget about college basketball?
Yeah, give it to me. Oh, is this Omaha?
No. This is college basketball in general.
Okay.
We may be only a couple of years away from expanding college basketball.
Like the tournament?
Really?
Nope. Well, that's going to happen. That's inevitable.
Like what? There's already 380 teams.
Might play more games.
In a season?
Might play 38 to 40 games. Because better non-conference games bring you what?
More money, more travel, but more money, especially for the mid-majors. If you can add 4 more non-con games, that means that there's 4 more paid games.
More conference games, more data points.
More data points.
For the committee to determine who should be in the field of 72.
With more teams. And I'm sure the leagues will be licking their lips when CBS.
Well,
NBC
and there's also athletic departments that going to need more money.
Yeah.
More home games.
Yeah.
More gate.
More capacity.
More buy games.
And I also think
an extra check.
That's a really good insight.
So it's probably, I would say, within the next 5 years, the regular season number of games you can play will expand by about 4 to 5, which is pretty significant.
On top of that as well, I think
why can't you play 40 college basketball games? Why
why
are we opposed to that?
This is no, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not saying you're opposed, but,
sure,
but like people will be like, no, that's way too many. No, you see how many at the end of the year? What Florida finish with a record last year? What did
I think it was 37-5 or something.
Jesus.
I know Google has become so hard to look things up. Like this whole AI overview and all the different websites you can get. I mean, it's like I have to scroll forever, or I have to be exact to the point to find things.
They played a lot of games last year.
Okay, so the thing about
36-4.
Oh, I said 37-5.
Nice. So played 40 games.
Yeah, right at 40.
Yeah.
No,
so you had 4 to 5 in the regular season. So national champion could play 44 to 45 games. Why not?
We are at the point where anytime there's change in college basketball or proposed change, I just groan. In college sports in general.
Yeah, the tournament stuff is grown.
I think that's fine. Also, too, the streaming services have shown, right, that they want to get more into college basketball. I mean, we did this whole Big East deal about certain. I think they're going to ESPN Plus now. we see that more and more streaming services, whether it be Peacock and whether it be ESPN Plus and maybe even Prime, Amazon Prime might want to get into the college basketball game. And so there actually is a want for it. And whether, like, when we're talking about the NCAA tournament, whether you watch one game, whether you watch all the games, like when it comes March, like that is a product that you want to know and you want to follow. Like if there's still a want to continue to broadcast it and have more.
Yeah, I think this is within 5 years.
I think it's a great
add
prediction.
a couple of more games to the regular season.
And I think it just makes a lot of sense from a money perspective. I mean, those basketball is going to need to bring in more money if they are going to be like, hey, we want a bigger slice of the pie.
Athletic departments are going to be searching for money. I mean, even in the Big Ten. Even you're going to get $82.7 million in the next signing of the check, not the next deal, but the next signing of the check, like next year. There's still some Big Ten schools that need money.
Well, a guy who will be talking today in Lincoln will certainly be talking about a lot of money, and that's Mr. Troy Dannon, BMOC. Will be at the podium along with a couple of coaches. I'm sure that Connor Happer and Josh Hodson will cover all of it while it's going on.
The most important person talking will be tomorrow.
Matt Rhule in the morning. I may be there. Hey,
there's been some developments this week.
Okay. Well, partner, fun week, fun end of the week, fun show. Matt and Gary, one day only. In the big boy chair. You brought up, someone made a great comment. It's like you talking about driver's ed. This is what this has felt like. So, hey, this probably won't happen a whole lot often. So enjoy it while you can. I've been Matt. I've been Gary. Peter Krenzer on the ones and twos. We'll see you next week on 1620 The Zone.